Whew. All right, guys, we are here today. Um, Sorry, a little bit late. Again, I'm now at an Airbnb. We got payroll numbers today too. So get this rolling here. Hold on. Get toss up. So non-farm payrolls dropped this morning. Let me put this disclaimer up since it's the beginning of the screen, as well as make sure you guys are ready. So how's the market going today? I haven't really looked at it this morning, to be honest, yet. Well, I always feel like I got the code right, but all right, we are in there. How you guys doing? Waiting for my coffee to cool down. Again, I got kind of like a head cold right now. And so we're about to get everything up on screen. Bear with me, chat. We're almost there. I know I'm running slow this morning. We'll get some music playing too. Let me know how the internet is, though. Again, we're currently at an Airbnb. So let me know how. Let me know how the internet's running here. All right, so we got toss up. Let me pull up my charts so you guys can see them now too. See, Disney had a nice little run yesterday. All right, so we'll put this up. Oh, there we go. All right. Here, let me move this out the way. There we go. So yeah, you see the SPY is up a little bit after the close day yesterday. We'll put up Tesla. There's Tesla. Tesla's still doing craziness, man. Tesla, I didn't even realize how much Tesla ripped on Friday on Wednesday. That is ridiculous moves. Ridiculous moves. Anything else moving right now that you guys know about? There's GameStop. GameStop up. It's holding around $25. Apple, Microsoft. Let me get some music playing here, team. I don't know if you can hear it now. You should be able to. The speed here is pretty good. Pretty good. We got like 25 upload, like 500 download. So you can tell they're definitely optimizing it for the. You can tell they're definitely optimizing it for the download speed, which is what most people use. You know. All right. Let me know if you can hear the music. Let me put my face out here. There we go. It's actually a pretty beautiful place, man. Like if you see it, like I'm surrounded by trees. It's cool. Market's running like crazy again, and then a potential bull flag. Tesla at 250. Bitcoin crashed. Yeah. All right, but we're up. Where's Bitcoin at right now? People are talking about Bitcoin crashing. Bitcoin did fall though to 53s or 55,000. Sound should be good. And again, today we have non-farm payrolls coming out. Unemployment data dropping at 8:30 this evening or this morning. All right. We got this banner up. All right, I gotta exit out of some of these old banners. Let me save this one. I just add this one, so this one's here, and then I can exit out of some of these old ones. Yeah, so again, today's the last day of the week. It's Friday, but it's a big Friday. So it's not a small Friday. Like, it's a Friday in which we have a lot of economic reports. We got non-farm payrolls, unemployment data. Non-farm payrolls is a very large report that should get some um, cause some influence over the stock market. And so, yeah, see what happens. We had the FOMC minutes report. Let me see. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment are expected at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and will be released and covered right here. NFP are expected at, let's see what they're expected at. They are expected at 200K with unemployment expected at 4%. Subscribe for more free economy content. There we go. That's better. What's up, Slim? Radical B. Thoughts on Rivian? Rivian. I mean, Rivian is one of those up and coming EV brands that has some backing. Like, I wouldn't put it in like category of like Mullen or anything like that. Like, it's got a little bit more backing, a little bit more potential future than Mullen or Polestar or some of those really small brands that probably are not going to succeed. But it's also not at the same traction as like Tesla or one of the legacy automotive EV brands. You know, the big question is, what does the future look like? A lot of people are speculating that the future actually looks like hydrogen instead of EVs. And if that's true, then Tesla is going to pivot. They've already made that known that they're probably going to pivot if that's the case, if we do start moving towards a hydrogen trend in cars. But what that means for Rivian, I'm not sure. I know Rivian has been in a downtrend this year. You know, it was at $28 at the peak of this year. It was at $8.20s at the lows of this year. And so what I see from Rivian, just to be completely honest, is a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk. Maybe it's successful. Maybe it's high risk, high reward, but it's not something in which I'm comfortable taking a large position in. I just don't think it has enough established to do so, to make that bet. Drinking coffee. If you crash my crypto portfolio, yeah, crypto's looking nasty. Look, here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin down to 55K. Again, it depends on how long term your view is, I think, on crypto. If you're looking at it long term, it'll probably go up. It's never for sure. Nothing's 100%. And I'm never like a definitive person where I'm like, this is going to happen or this is going to happen. And I don't know. Nothing's definitive with crypto either. It should go up long term in theory, but who knows? Wondering why the UK politics doesn't affect the market, not even GBP pairs. I guess the dollar is king. Yeah, I mean, the US market is the biggest market in the world, brother. You know, like that's the way that's the lens you have to look at it under. The US market's king. Everybody from around the world watches the US market, and the same can't be said in reverse. Like, nobody really follows overseas markets a ton, with a couple of exceptions. There's a few exceptions. Like, sometimes people will follow. It depends on whether there's opportunity, but it's not the same in which, like, you might have some opportunities in some other markets that you dip your toes in occasionally and come back to the US market. But people overseas trade the US market loyally, you know, and it's something that it's just different. Like, the US market's king. And so that's very clear. The reason it's king is because the gains are so consistent. Like, you know, if you invest into the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, whichever index fund, except for maybe the Russell, you know, if you invest in those, you're going to make, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10% a year, almost certainly. Not a year, on average every year is a better way to put it. So like when you zoom out, you're going to make 10%, roughly 7%, 8%. And that's very good gains. People will do whatever they got to do to make those gains. I agree with your hydrogen thesis. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's important to embrace new technologies in regards to like hydrogen and EVs and stuff like that. It's important to embrace new technologies. But you also want to make sure they're legit. And so hydrogen seems legit. It's not a certainty though yet. Like we haven't seen broad adoption of it, and so we don't really know. The other option is hybrid vehicles. You know, and a lot of people are using hybrid vehicles. They say they're much more efficient than pure EV or pure ICE vehicles. Hydrogen, like or hybrid vehicles are becoming a thing. So we'll see where that ends. Mount Gox Bitcoin situation. Yeah, let me check it out. All right, so over 170 billion is wiped off cryptocurrencies as market tanks on Mt. Gox Bitcoin payout fears. So Bitcoin is down over 6% in the last 24 hours to about 54K, which is its lowest level since February, according to CoinGecko. The entire crypto market has lost 170 billion plus in combined market cap in the last 24 hours. And on Friday, the trustee of Mt. Gox bankruptcy estate said it had begun making repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to some of its creditors through designated crypto exchanges. This has caused cryptocurrencies to plunge as investors focused on the payout of nearly 9 billion to users. Yeah, that's basically what's going on here. So the trustee of Mt. Gox, Nobuaki Kobayashi, said in a statement that it has begun making repayments in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to some creditors. Didn't specify how much or anything like that, but yeah, we'll see. Again, Bitcoin down about 55K. SPY is up. The S&P 500 is up. It's at 550s. Tesla sitting at 250s. What a crazy gain. And I'm in Tesla, so I'm glad to see this, of course. But man, what a crazy game. I'm just really proud like one of my investments played out. You know, like Tesla, one of those trades that I bought. People made fun of me. People told me Tesla would be at $100, like all this different stuff, and now Tesla shining way up there. You know, I'll take it. Nvidia back up to almost 130s too. Yeah. Problem with this Airbnb is that the upper bedroom doesn't have a door, so I'm sure my whole family hears me right now. I'm not sure if that's allowed. It's K. It might be on an evaluation count. I wouldn't try doing that on a funded account though. I would check to see if it's even allowed on a eval account. What's up, Kimberly? Good morning. Yeah, so it's good to know like I can Airbnb and be fine. You know, historically it's been a problem. Like if I've been trying to stream or something like that, like if I want to stream, it's been an issue because, you know, like if I want to stream, it's been a problem because the internet, like I have to have good internet. Sometimes the hotels don't have the best internet. Sometimes my mother-in-law didn't have the best internet, even though the internet at her house was fine. It was able to hold the Jerome Powell stream and all that stuff. So, but the internet here works great as well. So we're good. You think that even if non-farm payroll numbers are higher than forecast but lower than previous, it would still have a negative effect on the dollar? No. I think what we might see is higher payroll numbers means a stronger dollar, but a weaker S&P or NASDAQ or Dow. I think the Dow might react negatively to stronger payroll numbers, but the dollar index might go up, is what I think. But again, I'm speculating. I don't really know. But I'm assuming, Right now the Federal Reserve fears inflation. That's something that they were very clear about when Powell spoke with the ECB earlier this week. The FOMC fears inflation. They also fear economic weakness from keeping interest rates too high for too long, right? But what payroll numbers would show, what stronger payroll numbers would show, a couple things. With the whole market pushing for a rate cut, stronger payroll numbers would show less of a need to cut rates. That's number one, right? And you guys know my opinion on this. My opinion is we should keep interest rates high for as long as possible. Inflation has spiked over 5 years. We can't handle that again. Yeah, we can't deal with more ridiculously large inflation and price spikes here like we have over the last 5 years. We just can't deal with that again. And so we need to combat inflation. It needs to be our number one priority over anything else. I know we're getting a lot of pressure from real estate and mortgage brokers, and people are acting like people are struggling because interest rates are high. No, people aren't really struggling because interest rates are high. Not in the amount that people are struggling because prices are high in general, right? That's why people are struggling, in my opinion. But I digress back to the point. The point is higher inflation, or the point is higher payroll numbers might signal higher inflation. And if that's the case, then market will react negatively. Dollar index will probably go up though. No, I didn't see it, Daniel. Do you think that even if non-farm payrolls are higher, lower than previous, it would have a negative effect? Yeah, no, I didn't see it. Is non-farm payrolls buying or selling? No idea. Let me do a poll here real quick. Let me do a poll here real quick. Do you think the market wants higher or lower non-farm payroll data? Higher, lower. John's cool / see results. All right, vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. How out of 40 and Slibin said stop the recession, then corrected himself. Yeah, I mean, we're not in a recession right now, though. Like, I get it. People are politically biased, and so people want to act like it's the worst it ever could be right now, and that means recession or whatever. But we're not in a recession. And I know they're going to go back to the buzzword of they changed the definition, and maybe they did, but that's besides the point. The point is, even if they did change the definition, we're not in one currently. Right now, the bigger fear is not like unemployment's at 4%. That's not the sign of a recession. Unemployment would have to be much higher. Not even that. We would have to have 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters. And while we did have something like that years ago, we're certainly not in that now. Our GDP growth actually showed up higher than expected, I think, for second revision last week, right? So we're just not in a recession. The bigger risk is, again, inflation problems right now. Inflation, prices going up. And so that's the lens I think you have to look at non-farm payroll numbers under. Is a high non-farm payroll release bad? And I think it is, personally. I think a higher non-farm payroll, it doesn't mean, like, when I say we're not in a recession, people immediately assume that I'm saying things are all great and rosy and fine, and they're not. Prices are really, really high. That's the problem people have right now, is that prices are so freaking high. And again, with that, can't really handle more price spikes. Which are you more comfortable with, NFP, FOMC, or CPI? I mean, define comfortable. I cover all of them. Yeah, well, the problem with inflation, Daniel, is that once prices go up, it's very difficult to get them to go back down, regardless of why they went up in the first place. Especially with things outside of food, but even with food as well, it's very difficult to get prices to go back down. We've only had a couple times in the last 25 years in which CPI inflation actually literally went down. The rest of the time, the best we could hope for is to just slow them down. And so that is why inflation should be the priority, is because prices don't go back down once they go up. We're stuck with them. And so if we get greedy and lower interest rates to pander to real estate right now, which is what it would be doing, and I'm a real estate agent myself, right? But if we lower interest rates right now to pander to real estate so that they can have more business, even though interest rates are not super high necessarily, The problem is that once prices start to spike again, which they will if we start cutting rates, prices will start to spike again if we start cutting rates. Once that happens, uh, they don't go back down. And so then we're stuck with even higher prices than before this, the supply chain problems were mostly done from the pandemic. Like the pandemic caused some problems there because the infrastructure for everything changed for a period of time after the pandemic, and that affected supply and all this different stuff overseas and here. But again, prices don't generally go back down is the problem. Once they go up, we're stuck. Expects this price to come as forecast. You mean payroll numbers? What prices? Payroll numbers? Yeah, I'm sure Coinbase is getting destroyed right now on Bitcoin's weakness. Look at Bitcoin gotten destroyed. Coin. Yeah. I mean, Coinbase is still up a ridiculously large amount, though. Here's a question. Do you guys think the NFT market is dead? Here's why I'm saying this, okay? Is because I got a email about NBA Top Shot. When NBA Top Shot NFTs came out, the only real NFTs I ever bought during the NFT fever crazy run was NBA Top Shot because I was like a baseball card guy. This was basketball, but I was able to buy some cards, hope to get lucky. I didn't really get lucky on any of them. They've all wildly depreciated relative to the price I bought them at. But a class action lawsuit is now going up against NBA Top Shot. Now, I'm not going to participate in it because, frankly, me losing, $500 or $1,000, it's just part of investing in things. But I did see that, and that can't be a good sign for NFTs. Yeah, I think people are starting to realize like NFTs, like people act like NFTs were Tulip Fever 2.0. Now there's still some that are making waves, but yeah, they were Tulip Fever. Yeah, I think saturation is what destroyed them. I think the problem with most NFT companies is that they just became saturated with nonsense. Like bots started promoting sketchier and sketchier products. So people would pay bots to go plug their own super sketchy NFT project. Influencers got behind them and then used them to rug pull. Like there's just a lot of shady stuff going on in NFTs, and I think oversaturation plus shadiness destroyed the market. Yeah, but they've been saying gaming NFTs and gaming cryptos were going to be big for years now. For years they've been saying the same thing. I remember a lot of the crypto games projects, but again, I don't know. I think we've seen a resurgence in a crypto bull run, mostly driven by the halving, and also, we had the halving, and then we also had I'm drawing a blank. And then we had Bitcoin ETF and broad adoption of the big investment funds with Bitcoin ETFs and Bitcoin in general. But the problem is that it didn't really reflect on the other markets I just spoke about, like the NFT market. It might have had some sympathy movement from it, but nothing major. And the rest of those markets kind of still fizzled. So what we're seeing now is that people trust Bitcoin long term. People seem to trust Bitcoin long term, but they don't really trust everything else except for maybe like ETH, some other, the bigger projects, maybe. Yeah, I agree. Do you think the metaverse properties will become a big thing? Maybe one day deep into the future. I think the safest shot would be on the Oculus Quest metaverse. I think that's the biggest shot, the VR metaverse. I think that's the biggest shot, where virtual land is going to be expensive in those areas, because that's like Mark Z has built that up. My son has the Quest 3. He's been playing it a lot more than he used to, and I think that is built up a little bit more. I think outside of that, you got all these other metaverses, and you got basically, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but you got a lot of people making suckers bets. Like salesmen come along and they just plug and promote these these really sketchy metaverse properties, which are almost certainly never going to be worth anything. But if you can find somebody, to sell them to, they make money from it. But I think most of that's nonsense. I think there's a while before the metaverse becomes big, and I think the way it looks is going to be through VR headsets. And that's the property that might appreciate over time. But even that is still iffy. It's 7 days. I thought there was a sale. Yeah, so right now on Apex, it's a 1-day pass, right? So the sale ends in 4.5 days, but right now it's 80% off in 1-day pass, meaning if you pass it today, they'll send you your login info most likely today. You'll get funded today. You don't have to trade multiple days. You only the day to pass is how many days you have to trade. And so if it's 1 day to pass, you just have to trade 1 day. And if you hit your targets on that 1 day, you get funded. If it says 7 days, which it doesn't, right now it says 1 day. But if it said 7 days, that means you have to trade 7 trading days before they'll fund you. But right now it's 1. ETH ETFs approved too. Yeah, I see the news on ETH. That's great. Yeah, and there's a lot of scammers, man. Like, you got to understand, there really is a lot of scammers. Like, the last few days, I've been getting these bots sending stuff to my stream. Like, check it out. Look. We've been getting these weird, sketchy comments promoting people. I just gotta ban them all. For XAI89 nonsense. These are scams. Like, I'm seeing people appreciate the tips. I got this crypto predicting big returns. If you ever see somebody talking about a crypto in the comment section of my videos, they're scammers, right? Like, if I usually ban them if I can, but if I miss them, just be careful. Like, these are the worst people in the world, right? Like, imagine how crappy a crypto is if it needs bots to go along and promote it in the comment section. There's so many of these. You can tell it's like a strategic push for this scam coin. This is probably scammers. Like, this probably isn't even legit. It's probably all scammers. Just be careful with XAI, whatever, K. Like, they're all sketchy, scamming cryptos. All right, there we go. All right. No, you can take as many days as you want. The minimum, the days to pass is the minimum. So if it's 1 day to pass, you only got to trade 1 day. If you take the 50K challenge and you got to make 3K in profit on the 50K challenge, and you make 3K on the first day without hitting the max loss and while following their rules, that's when they'll fund you that 50K same day. You don't have to trade anymore. If it says 7-day pass and you get the 50K one, you have to trade 7 trading days before they'll fund you, right? But right now it's not 7, it's 1 day pass. If you look at the link in the description, it'll be a 1 day pass too. What should we expect? NFT under indexes? Yeah, I personally think that payroll numbers coming in higher than expected will be a negative thing. Personally, again, not 100% sure though. Lately, I do think it's kind of changed back towards a more good is good scenario where economic growth is seen as a positive, but it's definitely not for sure. And I'm still going to bet higher payrolls will mean market drops. It depends on how much the Fed, like, if it's super nuanced though. And so again, if we do have something in which high non-farm payroll data comes in and the market reacts positively to it, what that shows me is that the market is pushing for a rate cut, that the market wants a rate cut, because higher payroll data, or no, I guess it's actually would be the opposite, right? So higher payroll data means worse inflation problems. And if you want the Fed to cut rates, you need better inflation, lower payroll data, right? And so it's actually the opposite, I'm sorry, which would mean that if we come in higher than expected and the market reacts positively, that means the market wants economic growth and does not want a rate cut. You got to check the site, J. J420. You got to check the site. John back at it again, live from his grandmother's basement. No, I'm not at my mother-in-law's right now. Both of my grandparents, unfortunately, are passed away. Rest in peace to my grandma and my other grandma. But yeah, I am at an Airbnb right now. Really nice Airbnb. You can kind of see the scenery around me. It's really nice out here. So many scammers on YouTube in the crypto world. Yeah, dude, it gets really bad. People find a reason to dislike me sometimes, but I really do try to just be honest with people. Like, I'm honest about everything. If I make money from something, I tell people. If I'm biased because they pay me money, I tell people. I always tell people most day traders lose. I don't sell a course myself. I don't even claim to be a good trader. I think if I wanted to follow somebody online, that's what I would do. Like, that's somebody I would want to follow. And sure, we still get haters or whatever. They're usually just mad. The biggest haters are actually the ones who have tried to do what I'm doing and failed. Like, we had a hater that showed up like a couple days ago. And again, it's actually pretty consistent. Like, he said that he was doing what I was doing and that he doesn't make money anymore or whatever it is. And so the biggest haters are actually the people who have tried to build YouTube channels like me, but have failed, right? And I guess it kind of hurts to see somebody else doing their dream or what they wanted to do or whatever it is. And that just drives them to be super hateful and negative and crappy. But still, I try to be real with you guys and as honest as I can. Better to be honest, even if people don't like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I try, no matter what, somebody's going to complain about something. If I'm too honest, they'll say, oh, this dude doesn't even give us any call outs or picks. This guy doesn't tell us when to buy or sell. He sucks, so no matter what, I'm going to get heat for it. But, I'd rather sleep good at night and just be honest. Job low, wages low, housing high, unemployment gives us, housing's not high. Unemployment's low right now. It's at 4%. It's been 4% or 3.9% for like a year. So unemployment's still low, signaling less of a need to cut rates, right? Inflation is still elevated, signaling less of a need to cut rates. Interest rates, need to keep a higher path. PCE inflation has gotten a little bit better, but I don't think it's where it needs to be yet. Can't please them all for sure. Let me get the timer up on the screen here. So it is 7:16 in the morning. We got about an hour and 13 minutes. We got this up here. Oh no, what happened? All right, we'll put this here. This will actually enable it so we can actually get more than one. We get 4 charts up on screen, which is probably a little bit better. There we go. And then we can just pull up another. Here's AMD. Put gold up here. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. We got the timer countdown. I'm just glad the gold spammers aren't here. Oh no, I gotta plug my laptop in, guys. My bad here. Yeah, that would have been bad. My whole computer just shut down. That actually makes my computer light up a little bit too. Hey, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Let's look at our poll here. So we did a poll. We asked people, do you think the market wants higher or lower non-farm data? 50% say higher, 40% say lower, 10% just wanted to see results and think I'm cool. So yeah, hey, we'll see. Maybe I should get some t-shirts, dude. I never actually try. I never actually try to put some shirts in there, but on the earliest trade TV, yeah, we try. John, I want to thank you for hosting these streams every morning in the pre-market and explain how you think the market will react. Also, your camera is much better today. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not at my mother-in-law's. My mother-in-law's sunroom is just like dark. This place is actually like, I got a window right above me here. Check it out. So yeah, I got like a window right above me. It's actually pretty cool. There we go. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, I used to. I have to get some built, man. It's been a while since I've built some shirts. But yeah, Bitcoin taking heat today. Tesla. We're in Tesla. Small position now. We've scaled out over the last few days, but we're still in some. Yeah, I'm thinking about what I want to do here. Should I liquidate Tesla or should I sit in it? You know, the big thing about Tesla, I'll probably stay in it. The big thing about Tesla is the robo-taxi event is next month. So also we have CPI next week. So CPI data tomorrow. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna be home within a few days. We'll be home next week, and so we are going to start our stream back early again, like we used to. Looks like CTAs are set to buy Nvidia over 130 to hedge Gamma and Tesla over 250 to hedge as well. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. CTA, maybe algorithms is what he means. Call to action. Oh. Okay, yeah, the call to actions is what he means by that. Yeah, I mean, buying a channel with 300K subs is going to be expensive. Like, I know if I was to sell this channel, it would cost. I would not sell this channel for under $1 million. It'd certainly be more than $1 million. Just based off of how much it earns, it wouldn't make any sense to sell it for less than that. So it depends, you know. But I'm almost up 100 share on these 20 extra Tesla shares. Hey, nice. Gold, yeah, gold is sitting. You know, gold has had a good little run though. Like here's a 10-day chart. Gold has had a nice little run. So gold is back up to, you know. Commodity trade advisor. Okay, gotcha. I gotta be careful though. That one guy who's kind of big bad is gonna come out saying I was bragging. I'm not bragging. I'm just being honest. Somebody said they want to buy a channel. It depends on how many views the channel gets, right? This channel gets we get like 300,000 to 500,000 views a month or so, like give or take. It depends on what's going on. If it's earnings season, we might get a little more. If it's no earnings season, we might get a little less. But I don't know. I think it's saturated. I think it's saturated. You made a backup channel, then sold that off. What the sellers could be doing. Yeah, but I mean, listen. Okay, so I'll put it this way: I have tried to. I've had other people on my channel a lot. Like I've had other hosts, I've had other co-hosts, I've had other personalities on my channel. And every single time I'm streaming and then I say, okay, guys, like we're going to hand the stream off to this person, and this person's going to run the stream. My viewership drops 60, 70%. Right. And so I'm not even trying to brag or whatever it is. I just think people watch my channel because I'm here. I built it. They want to watch me and hear what I got to say. They don't really know these other people. And so over time, that has made me realize that like selling a channel is going to be difficult, because the only thing that would make sense is selling a channel and then staying on as the host still and maybe getting paid a salary or something like that. That might be a little bit more understandable, but it's too much, it's just not necessary. Yeah, look at Tesla, the spy, making moves. Is that a river behind you? I wish it was, though. I'd go fishing for sure. Michigan has got some good fish. I'm in Michigan right now. Michigan's nice, bro. Nice. I'm in a very little town, though. First thing I realized is that things are cheap. Like, I'm coming from Houston. I'm coming from the Houston area. First thing I noticed is that even though we're north, and typically the way it goes, like, I used to take Greyhound buses up to Canada. Like, my parents used to throw me on a Greyhound, and I would go visit my mom, who lived in Canada, and my dad is from Baton Rouge, right? So I would hop on a Greyhound. I'll tell you this: the big cities are sketchy. Baton Rouge Greyhound Station is sketchy. Do not go there. But again, it was a good experiences for me. I would sleep on the bus, ride it up, go see my mom, come back down, sleep on the bus, ride it down. Met some cool people, would hang out, exchange CDs with people. Like we'd have fun on the bus. But yeah. Plain and simple, if you're good at what you do, then you'll succeed. Too many of these channels are pretty clueless and just responding to what's happening. Yeah, I think, look, if you're creating a channel and you want to build a channel, you have to build it on something people want to see, right? Too many people are creating channels and content on things that other people just don't really want to see. And so even though they might be good at it and they might thrive at it or whatever it is, if nobody really wants to watch it, then it's a waste of time and energy. So if you're building a channel, you just got to make sure that other people want to see it and that you have an established niche to build content around. Because again, a lot of people are good at a lot of obscure and different things, but if you don't have an audience for those things, it doesn't matter. But with that said, there's still a lot of areas where people have an audience, and you can monetize your passions. That's the beautiful thing about social media. And again, I think influencers get a lot of hate because of people like the Paul brothers and people going out there pranking other people or whomever it is, acting up on social media to get clicks. But I think social media gives you a very beautiful thing, which is allows you to monetize your passions. So you can effectively monetize your passions pretty easily. And if you know what you're talking about, people will see that and they will gravitate towards you. And I think that's the best way to be about it. Yeah, Greyhounds are super sketchy. You're just scared. Honestly, I was a little scared of the Greyhound station, only in the big cities, and most people would be. Like Chicago. I remember my parents just, I'm not saying they didn't care, but they would just be like, "Here, bro, just go ahead." I would have to walk from the train station sometimes because sometimes I'll take a train to the Greyhound station in Chicago. Chicago train station. Do not go there by yourself. Yeah, Chicago station is scary. All right. Anyways, SPY sitting slightly green up to over 550s. Where's the lifetime highs on the SPY? Lifetime highs are 551.80s. So we're close to that now. We're at 551.70. So the lifetime high on the SPY is here. If we open up over this level, we're breaking lifetime highs at the open. So this is the lifetime highs essentially on the SPY. Bitcoin again down under 55K. Tesla there. We can look at NVIDIA. Again, NVIDIA is still very green, almost up to 130s on the day now. So NVIDIA is still moving here, trying to head up. And so we'll see if that good volume today for NVIDIA also. Again, unemployment expected at 4%. Non-farm payrolls expected at 200K. And yeah, that's it for the week. After that, we still got time though. Next week we got CPI. Next week's pretty slow except for CPI and PPI at the end of the week. And then we also have, I believe, earnings starting up soon. Earnings season is almost here, chat. Yeah, so earnings season almost here. Bitcoin settlement, everyone bought last 25K doubled assets are taking gains off the table, closing out. NFP gonna be north of 200K. The previous data never matches the actual. Yeah, earnings season's coming here. Yeah, so I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm looking. We got next week, Monday. Let me get a list of you. Yeah, I'm looking next week. We don't really have anything going on next week either. Pepsi, Delta. Okay, so we do have some stuff going on next week. So next Thursday, along with CPI, we got Pepsi, Delta, Bank 7. And then next Friday, PPI data comes out, but it's also JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of New York, Fastenal, Ericsson, and a lot of other stuff. So next week's actually incredibly busy. And then the following week is earnings season. So the following week after next week, we have Goldman Sachs. We've got FB Financial, Cross First Bank. We've got Bank of America, United Health, Progressive, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, State Street, Mercantile Bank, PNC Financial, Interactive Brokers, JB Hunt, Great Southern Bank, Hancock Whitney. And then the big boys come out next, not this next Wednesday, but 2 weeks from now. We have Johnson & Johnson, Ally, Prologis, Synchrony, First Community Bank, Citizens Bank, First Horizon Bank, Northern Trust, US Bank, United Airlines, Alcoa, Discovery, Steel Dynamics. So yeah, earnings season's basically here next week. I'm trying to see when Tesla earnings are going to be. Okay, so Netflix earnings are July 19th or July 18th, sorry. And then Friday. So I think the big boy earnings drop on the 23rd or 24th. So we still got a few weeks for that. Spotify, Coca-Cola, Tesla. Yeah, so Tesla earnings are July 23rd, Tuesday after the close. I'm excited for that. Yeah, so Tesla earnings are big. What about Apple? I don't think Apple is okay, yeah, we got some time for Apple. All right, so look at NVIDIA's up there too as well. We still got an hour, chat. We still got an hour. Tesla testing 251s. Crazy run for Tesla. Crazy run. It's a wait on watch mode ahead of jobs data. Tesla Model Y features on Chinese government purchase list and a first for Elon Musk. So some optimistic news coming out here as well. I watch you every morning. Hey, cheers to you, brother. Thanks, man. Thank you for your time. You're welcome. What's up, Daphne? Good morning. We get the 22nd. Yeah. How soon until AI systems are studying markets and buying, selling on their own, make an AI model and just put money in and let the AI take the wheel? Yeah, I mean, I agree, Daniel. I think that is something that is true. The chat, that's a good question for chat. So, chat, when do you think AI systems are going to be capable of researching themselves, researching markets themselves, finding stocks, doing stock selection themselves, making the buys and sells themselves, and basically managing their own portfolio of buys and sells and stocks? When do you think AI is capable of that? I think they're probably pretty close to now. The biggest roadblock there would be the selectivity of it. Like you would have to, it would be, you got to have a lot of safe falls in there if AI is going to be controlling your portfolio in that way. But I'm sure they're testing that now, and I'm sure that's pretty soon. What do you think about futures day trading? Day trade futures every day for the most part. That the market's open. Fed wants to cut rates, then non-farm payroll should come down. Yeah, I think if NFP data comes in lower than expected, if you want rate cuts, that's the positive thing. Lower than expected means more likelihood of rate cuts. Higher than expected means less likelihood of rate cuts. Higher than expected means more economic growth and more inflation problems, right? So payroll data coming in high means worse for rate cut pushers and better for hawkish traders. It's 31st of July. Gotcha. NFP setups. Yeah, I would just be careful. Taking a big position ahead of non-farm payroll is a risk. You know, it's a big risk. All right, so 53% think we want higher than expected payroll numbers. The question is, who knows if you're not an AI generated? Yeah, I used to joke around about that too. People would say, "Hey, you know," I would be like, "Yeah, I'm an AI guy. I'm just predicting what you guys are going to ask me and repeating it." Honestly, we're getting to the point now where that might be possible. What if non-farm payroll is lower and unemployment is lower? Both of those things contradict each other. So non-farm payroll data coming in low signals less economic growth. Uh, Unemployment being low signals more economic growth, right? So they that's kind of mixed results. We don't know what it's going to do, but that's kind of mixed results. I think non-farm payroll will be high, maybe, possibly. Robot for me. Yeah. Robots are growing, that's for sure. All right, guys. Gold still pushing up. Gold over 2300s. I'm looking up other market news stories for the day just to see what we got going on. Hurricane Beryl makes landfall in Mexico, according to U.S. forecasters cited by AFP. I heard Beryl's rough. Let me check it out. Yeah, I'm looking at Hurricane Beryl, man. It's hitting Texas, so it's hitting my home. My father-in-law's over there now, but yeah, it's hitting my home. Anyway, SPY started to test these lows down here. So look at the SPY start to fall. SPY at 551.50s. Tesla still at 250s. Let's see if we can hold 250 plus. Nvidia trying to get up here. You know, 129 roughly is the top up there. We'll watch that level here and see what happens with it. But gold again over 2370s. Gold's had a nice little bull run over the last couple days. Like if you look at a 20-day chart, you can kind of see gold has been running up really since mid-June. Since you know June 26th, a little bit late June. gold has been running up. So since the end of June, over the last like 2 weeks, gold has had a nice little run. No, I didn't see that K. I missed the smaller hurricanes when I lived in Florida. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Louisiana, so like growing up, I used to have my favorite car ever was a H22 5-speed Honda Prelude, 97 5-speed manual Honda Prelude. I used to race it. It was so much fun. It was my favorite car ever. My dad told me not to go out during the hurricane. My dad was like, "Hey, don't drive this car. Don't drive your car at the hurricane." And I didn't listen. I went out partying with my friends. And it was like 2 a.m, and my friend Kareem's street was so flooded. I started to pull down his street. So I pulled down his street. Again, my mind wasn't right. I started to pull down his street, and the water very quickly got to my headlights. I opened up the door. I was dumb. I don't know what I was thinking. I opened up the door. Water shoots in. Car's over with. We ended up getting it fixed, but it was never the same. It was never the same. It was never as fast as it was before that. It was fast. It had VTEC at the time when, now most cars are going to beat what I had back then. But it had VTEC at a time in which, stock 4-cylinder cars weren't very quick. So I loved it. Anyway, SPY at 551s. Yeah, SPY just broke technically red on the day. So now the SPY is technically red on the day. It's under 550s. It just actually rebounded right back up. So now it's technically green on the day, but it bounced right back up there. Selling. Yeah, good luck, dude. Do whatever you got to do. Again, I'm waiting. I'm not taking any big position here. People think I'm crazy. You have to be from Florida, Louisiana to understand. Yeah, I mean, if from Louisiana, being from Louisiana, we've had to deal with hurricanes my whole life. My whole life. I'm more fearful of tornadoes. I watched the movie Twister growing up, and it made me fear tornadoes. It also made me a little bit interested in them, though. And I think a lot of people, I said this before, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, me too." And so I think that's a pretty common thing. I saw the movie Twister and feared tornadoes, but also was kind of interested and weirdly attracted to tornadoes. Gold and silver prices usually want what the market wants. Typically, gold moves in a macro sense with the market. Not always. It's kind of like Bitcoin. Generally, especially with economic data, Bitcoin will typically move with the market. It's never a certainty. Each individual one is each individual one. It's not a certainty, but it can be. I'm still in Nike. I mean, I'm holding. I sold a third of it just to protect the trade, but I'm still in Nike. So I'm still in Nike. Tesla up to 250, 150s. Again, Nvidia still sitting at 128.50s. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Help me grow this channel, guys. We appreciate it. Nonfarm Payrolls low means gold would shoot up. Not. It's never a certainty. We don't know. We think so, but we don't know for sure. So we think we know, but we don't know for sure. Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah, hopefully you guys stayed safe. Yeah, we got 34 likes. Let's get that over 100, chat. I would never, ever pressure you to hit the like button. But if you don't hit the like button, I'll hate you forever and ban you for life. Do it now. Just joking. I'm not going to ban you, kind of. But I'll hate you forever if you don't hit the like button. Do it now. Do it now. What's up, Matt? Spawn, Bonk, Sam, you, Yo, Lennox, Daphne, Phil, Jonathan. What's up, Ben? Bubba, love the channel. Good-ish. I'm at work. I'll be back. Hey, thanks, man. Always Like, hey, thanks so much. Still on vacation? Yeah, we're still here. Ready to go home. I've been gone for weeks now. We usually take a trip a year, but I'm ready to go home now. I love my in-laws, but I need a break from them occasionally. I feel like I'm always with one of them. If I'm not with one, I'm with the other, and you know, my parents kind of have their own thing going on. So like, I don't see my parents as much. I see my dad occasionally and my mom occasionally, but it's certainly not. They say that with girls. I guess it's different. Like girls' parents are much more versus me. My parents are just kind of like, he's all right. My parents love me. I love my parents, but they're not super involved like day to day. Price target on Tesla? I don't really have a price target. I'm just riding Tesla up. I've been in Tesla for a while. Probably stay in it. Yeah, I mean, gold's kind of high. Again, I'm not saying gold looks like a sell to me either. What I'm saying is that gold is like, look, I'm gonna put a big gold chart up. Here's gold, right? One of the things that you have to pay attention to, I think, is that when you put a long-term chart up like this, let me fix this. When you put a long-term chart up like this, one thing that you'll see with gold is this. Okay, so gold goes through big periods of green action, followed by big periods of red action. And so big, monstrous runs, then years, like a straight decade of pullbacks. Again, big, monstrous runs. All right, and again, I'm not saying that it's going to give us another decade of pullbacks, but I mean, it's up there. It's up there. Now, what do you guys think for gold? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just kind of skeptical. I don't want to get caught in a 10-year downswing for gold. Tesla on a weekly time frame. Yeah, I mean, Tesla is very it's green on the week. It's starting to get towards, I think $300 is obviously the big milestone level for Tesla personally. But y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so, right? Yeah, I like spending time with my mom, but after a few days, she drives me nuts. I'm getting, yeah, I mean, I get it. Again, I love my in-laws. They're great people, but I just need breaks from them every now and then. Like, I think any family needs their own time, their own space, like their own like quality time with each other without in-laws there, Explain NFP news. So monthly, non-farm payroll data comes out. This is the payroll report along with unemployment. It happens once a month. It always comes after the prelim data, which dropped on Wednesday of this week. Wednesday, we had the prelim data come out, and the prelim data from Wednesday showed 150,000 payrolls or non-farm employment. So 150K non-farm employment data dropped on Wednesday versus 160,000 expected. So on Wednesday, the prelim payroll data showed lower than expected. If we look at how the market actually responded to this, right? So if we look at how the market actually responded to this, what day was Wednesday? Was it the 3rd? I think so, right? Let me make sure. Yes, Wednesday was the 3rd. And so if we look at how the market responded to Wednesday's report here's the 3rd. Data showed up at 8:15 market time. So data showed up right here and mostly reacted negatively to lower payroll numbers. So maybe this will signal a positive correlation between payroll numbers and market sentiment. But I'm not 100%. We're just kind of waiting here. What do you guys think? That's essentially what our poll asks. Yeah, this data will affect stocks. It'll affect all markets for the most part in the U.S. because payroll numbers influences the economy more than anything. And so these numbers influence economics in the U.S. And that trickles into the stock market, gold, Bitcoin sometimes. So yeah, this will affect things. We don't know how much. It's all relative to what the number shows up as. If payroll data's come in widely outside of what's expected, either on the upside or downside, that's probably going to evoke some type of response in markets, right? If they show up pretty close to what was expected, maybe we'll have a smaller reaction. But again, we don't know for sure. All right, we still got 40 minutes left. We got about 500 people here live. So again, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button. reason in-laws and vacations go hand in hand. Good for short periods of time, maybe 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. Again, though, the other, like, yeah, I'm trying to be delicate with what I say. I love my in-laws; they're great. Need some time away from them though, occasionally. Uh, Tesla approval and Gigafactory expansion is crazy. 400,000-ish car units annually to 1 million. Yeah, if they can get that done. Again, I think the big thing, Tesla's the stock to watch. I don't know if it's going to go up, down, or sideways, but in my opinion, it's the stock to watch. Why do I think it's the stock to watch? Because next month in August, we have the robotaxi event. If Tesla can like accomplish robotaxis well, they'll change the world, I think, personally. If it's a big if though. Like it's a big if. I'm skeptical, to be completely honest. And I like Tesla. I'm in Tesla. I want it to go up. They need to accomplish it successfully. And they need to execute it well. And if they do, they're going to be making a lot of money in the future. Again, I truly think, I say this usually at least once a day, but I truly believe that, I truly genuinely believe that in the future, we're going to have full self-driving vehicles that drive themselves without the need for a person there. I think when you look at a couple things, specifically AI, when you look at AI at the current level proves that one day we're going to have full self-driving vehicles, right? I think that's a very obvious, a very self-evident thing. I think you can see how good AI is now. You can see how good self-driving is now. Combine those things. Pretty soon, we're going to have full self-driving vehicles without the need for a person. We already have FSD, but I'm talking about we're going to have full self-driving vehicles. And that's what the robotaxi event is supposed to debut, is robotaxis, full self-driving vehicles. And the biggest hiccups here is infrastructure-wise, right? Like they got to build the infrastructure. When the carriage was replaced by the automobile, there were hiccups there as well, but over time, those get better. But again, Tesla has to do it right. If they don't do it right, they're going to fall. Hey, nice. Yeah, I heard about that, I think. Sam, here's GameStop. GameStop up. Down a little bit on the day, though, but yeah, they're up. NVIDIA, again, guys, NVIDIA almost up to 130s. Where's Microsoft? I haven't looked at Microsoft in a minute. Microsoft's had one of those crazy years, too, to be honest. Here's NVIDIA. Waiting for us to be in those Minority Report vehicles going up in buildings. Yeah. Yeah. Again, there's a really interesting, like I don't know if it's philosophical, but there's a really interesting thought process here, which is, did we inspire the future or did we predict the future through science fiction? I think we inspired it to a heavy degree. Like basically, when you look at, like, if you watch the movie Bicentennial Man or Back to the Future, you'll see a lot of parallels with those movies versus what we actually have today. Now, sure, we don't have full flying cars, but everything else is pretty accurate. Like if you look at Back to the Future 2, for instance, and you look at how Marty was interacting with his boss from home, he was conferencing his boss from his home, and this movie was built in the early 80s, and so Marty McFly was streaming with his boss on a flat screen at his home in Back to the Future 2 40 years ago. And so it's interesting because that's basically what we have today. That's similar to what you do today. You do work from home a lot. You do have flat screens. You do have streaming and conferencing software that allows you to do it. And so the question is, did we predict the future or inspire the future with stuff like that? Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, the hoverboards, we probably kind of do have hoverboards, but they're not as good. Star Trek did have FaceTime iPads. I like Star Trek too. Ella's doing AI work for Tesla and is setting up a launch pad. Yeah. 2x semiconductor ETF up. I don't know. Flying cars, I understand why we don't have. Because if you think EVs have problems with infrastructure, flying cars would have ridiculously large problems. Like for flying vehicles, we're going to be in trouble. Like building that infrastructure for something like that is going to be really, really difficult to do. And it's just not something that is going to be easy. Video communication was an obvious invention. Yeah. But again, did we predict or did we inspire? Yeah, but what we're referencing is we're referencing sci-fi movies like The Fifth Element, Back to the Future, so forth and so on, where the cars flew. Fifth Element's probably the best example, but we also had that in Back to the Future. Yeah. From India, CMT level 1 completed, so I have something to share about NFP. According to my analysis, the Fed has to cut interest rates anyhow because if the NFP comes above expectations. Yeah, I mean, Elvish guy. Uh, yeah, I think that you got it backwards, brother. I think. So if payroll numbers come higher than expected, what that would signal is more economic growth, less of a need to cut rates, right? You cut rates because the economy is at risk. Just to put this into perspective, we hear people talk a lot about how the market reacts negatively to a rate cut, right? But they're not taking the full context of history into the equation. The market reacts negatively to a rate cut because typically when we start to cut rates, we're doing so because something's breaking economics wise, right? We're doing it because something's breaking in economics. Like the economy's breaking. And so that's a scary sign for a lot of people. And thus we get a bearish reaction a lot of the time when we cut rates. Right now, though, I think what we see is too much economic growth to a certain extent, and that causes inflation problems and problems with prices going up and up and up and up like they have over the last 5 years. And the public can't handle more price spikes, right? And so in that regard, we should not cut rates right now. We certainly shouldn't cut them at the end of this month. We should wait as long as humanly possible to cut rates because, again, when inflation spirals, it gets bad fast, right? We can't really handle it getting worse. Like, we need to be patient and wait and let the high rates do their job. Again, we get a lot of pressure from people who are essentially just greedy, right? Like they're in real estate, they're in mortgages, they're in lending. They want cheaper lending so that they can have more business in their professional life, right? And so they don't care if we break the economy while we do it. And that's the problem, right? I think we have to keep inflation under control. Inflation doesn't go back down once it goes up, and it's incredibly necessary to keep it under control. Yeah, well, no, they would work. We could probably do flying cars now. They would be drones, basically, is what they probably would be, like a drone-esque thing. But we could accomplish that now in terms of technology. We could get that. The problem wouldn't be making cars fly. The problem would be more so building the infrastructure for something like that, because that changes the dimensions of driving, right? So instead of just having to worry about one dimension on the ground, or two dimensions on the ground, or with three dimensions on the ground, you got to worry about above you, below you, to the side, diagonally, to the bottom left, to the bottom right. Like, you're going to have to look at all these different dimensions and infrastructure, and it's just going to be a problem. That's going to take a long time to build. And so that's why we don't have flying cars yet. AI will create new professions that it's hard to predict right now, just like YouTube created YouTubers. Nobody predicted this. John, question though, if our government admin keeps spending more money, then how is inflation going to get better? We literally pay for them spending. Sure, but the reason inflation gets better is from right now. It's an election year, okay, and so that is influencing everything. It's an election year that's causing problems. The reason after this year it'll get better. Like, the government spending and the pressure for rate cuts will get better, and I think inflation really will get under control. They in the last FOMC Powell speech that we did with the ECB early in the week, he said that he thinks inflation will go down slightly year to year. And so my guess is, because it's an election year, we might not see the damage to inflation that we really necessarily want, but it'll get better over time. Are we going short or long, bruh? I'm not sure. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm not telling anybody to buy anything. And you shouldn't watch a live streamer and just copy what he's doing. That doesn't make sense. You can learn strategies, patterns, economic outlook, stuff like that from me. but I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or sell. That's silly, and you shouldn't want that either. Like that's not going to do anything. I can throw out a random pick, and if I'm right, but yeah, flying companies out. Yeah, it depends though. Flying cars are great, but it would have to be. I guess you're right. Dollar has room. Yeah, real estate's great. Like real estate's a good business, right? It really is. The problem though with it really is that uh, it's high pressure, high sales, and so a lot of the real estate agents I've met, they're just kind of like they try to network with me, but a lot of people I meet, like their intentions are so clear, right? Like I've met a lot of people where they just had bad intentions, like they get jealous really easily. Some of them were scorned from interest rates going up, and their business suffered from it, and so they're all weird and jealous and bitter and kind of just childish, for lack of a better word. And so I think real estate's one of those industries where it's certainly volatile in terms of your day-to-day business. Like how much money you make regularly varies, and it moves up and down a high amount, right? So you don't know how much you're going to make in any year. You can hope it's a good year. It might be a bad. I'm considering buying gold, and so are a couple traders I know. I just want to hear your opinion. I think gold is one of the single best inflation hedging assets you can buy, right? One of the single best inflation hedging assets you could ever buy, right? That's number one. I think gold is a great inflation hedging asset. But, all right, but again, I'm always honest with people, and I'm going to be as honest as I can. I'm not going to pander to anybody here. I'm going to be as real as I can with this, right? Gold is one of the best long-term inflation hedging things. So if you hold it long-term, you're going to keep up with inflation, but it needs to be long-term. What I mean by long-term is like 15, 20 years. Because gold has big bull runs and then big bear runs and then big bull runs. And so again, I don't know if the next step is a big bear run, right? And again, these bear runs can last for a long time. This bear run in gold lasted for freaking 10 years, a decade of red downward trending gold. And so gold is a great thing if you zoom out enough. But if you don't zoom out enough and you're trading it short term, there's certainly risks right now, I think. There's certainly risks. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes left, chat. 30 minutes. A short term, we might get some action here. It depends on what gold does. Like if payroll numbers come in really high, the market might try to hedge against inflation with gold, and gold might go up. And so I think there might be a positive correlation between gold and payroll numbers, because I think the higher payroll numbers are, the more people are going to want to hedge with gold, right? Because that signals more economic growth. And what does more economic growth equal? It equals inflation problems potentially. And so I think if payroll numbers come in high, gold might spike and have people like hedging against the inflation with buying gold. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. Always be smart and safe. Not 100% sure what's going to happen. What do you guys think gold is going to do? Okay, here's a question for the chat. If payroll numbers come in noticeably higher than expected, what does gold do? Does gold go up, down, or sideways? In principle, we could, with existing tech, easily set up a sky highway network using geofencing, although GPS is not very accurate altitude-wise. Yeah, I mean, again, more dimensions is going to be a problem, certainly. Now, I think our GPS is pretty powerful and complex, so I think it could probably handle it, but it would take a lot of infrastructure building. Dollar index. We're going to watch the dollar. SPY is completely flat, right down the middle, sideways, completely flat, right down the middle. Considering buying gold, and so are a couple traders. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know, chat. Let me know what you think. Do you think buying gold's the move right now or no? love for the entire market to turn bearish. Let me make sure this is working. Yeah. Um, all right, guys. A decent house that is around 3,000 square feet, runs at least 400K in the suburbs. It depends on where you live. Teleport. I would love for the entire market to turn bearish for a while. I want to buy back, but at lower prices. Yeah, down, down. Gold goes up, down. So you think if higher payroll numbers will cause a negative response in gold? You think gold will go down with higher payroll numbers? Really? Flying cars, a helicopter. Yeah, but we're not talking about helicopters. We're talking about like a car that flies. Also, a different technology. Gold in short term might be good. No one even considers there's so much gold that once we can extract it efficiently from the oceans, we will have more than what we do now. Yeah, but is that like a thing that people are actually working towards? And if that happens, per supply and demand, wouldn't that weaken the price of gold if we have more access to gold through the oceans? Wouldn't that weaken the price because of supply and demand? More supply, less demand. Yeah, gold is right here below this clock right here. Here's gold. Gold is at 23.75. It's been pushing up for the last few weeks. Good morning, John, and all. I remember when the argument around was Bitcoin was a great hedge against inflation. What was that, 69K? So overall, gold, real estate, municipal bonds. I mean, I'm not really sure who had that argument. It certainly wasn't me. I think over time, Bitcoin is reliable, but short term, anything can happen. And Bitcoin has been really well known to have massive pullbacks, massive rejections, massive dips, massive rebounds as well. So I think over time, we're going to be okay with crypto and Bitcoin. But I think it's certainly volatile and risky unless you're holding it long term. NFP means higher, gold goes down. I'm not sure. I think it could be the opposite. I think higher non-farm payroll numbers would signal less of a need to cut rates and more of a need to hedge against inflation, which might make people buy gold. And so I think like logically, a positive correlation between gold and the S&P, between gold and payroll data makes sense, but I'm certainly not 100% sure. Definitely not 100% sure. So we got 23 minutes until non-farm payrolls and unemployment report drops. It's a huge report, very important. Can you tell me how this report affects Forex? It'll be very helpful. So we don't know. It's never definitive. Again, my theory is that if payroll data shows up higher than expected, the market reacts negatively to this. Lower than expected, the market reacts somewhat positively. That's my guess. It's a straight up guess. I have no idea if it's going to be correct or not. To me, it's a straight up guess. But, it is a guess. Maybe we get good numbers. Maybe we don't. But the market fears inflation, certainly. And so I think if payroll numbers come in hot, what that means is that we got to hedge against inflation more. So maybe gold goes up, maybe the S&P and the NASDAQ goes down. Again, I'm just speculating. For all the other gold traders, how does the market in gold generally react to more economic growth? Does gold go up from economic growth or down from economic growth? I know conventionally, the S&P will go up because of economic growth and vice versa, but right now it's a different market, and I wouldn't say it's definitive. You'll be able to watch the non-farm payroll report right here live, so it'll come in live. All right, so yeah, non-farm payrolls and unemployments dropped right here at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. There we go. Market still fears inflation, but not as much as they did before. Yeah, but it's definitely not as much. I just think, like, okay, again, I've said this many times. Like, I hear people's regular, like, what people are unhappy about. I hear it pretty often here, and most of the time they're unhappy about prices being too high. And so I think if that's true and people are logical about it, they need to support things that will keep prices down, right? And things that will keep prices down are lower payroll numbers. Uh, Unemployment is a little bit less predictable in terms of the reaction. I would generally say, or a little bit more predictable. Lower unemployment's almost always good, despite anything else. But with payroll numbers, again, higher payroll numbers means more inflation problems and higher prices, right? That's the nature of things. But it depends on whether you're pushing for a cut. That's another question. Are you guys pushing for a rate cut right now? Are you pushing for cuts right now is the question. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, RJ, nobody said payroll is going up or down for anybody. What we're trying to talk about here is what the reaction is going to be for higher payroll numbers, or what the reaction is going to be with lower payroll numbers. I'm not saying they're going to come in higher. I don't know what they're going to show up as. Nobody does. Rate cuts this year. Yeah, I don't think personally we should cut rates. I think it's a ridiculous thing that we're even thinking about it right now. If you don't know, use the system just for that. Don't presume. Nobody knows. You could create the best system in the world. You're still not going to be able to predict what payroll numbers are going to show up as. Again, the only people that act like you can actually predict what the payroll numbers will be are people who are usually trying to sell you some type of course or system or service. But payroll numbers are not predictable. We have to basically just react to what they show up as. The only people that really know are insiders in the government. Again, over time, I really do believe that the Dunning-Kruger effect in stocks and economics is true. Like, the people who act like they know for sure what the data is going to be, what's going on with the data, where the data is going to be, generally have the least amount of experience. Can't have too much positive news. Balance is better. Yeah, balance is a huge theme in my trading and really my interpretation of economics. Balance is really necessary. What would be the effect on Canadian dollar? I'm not sure. I would probably assume it's going to move similar to the US dollar, but I'm, again, not 100% sure. All right, guys, we got about 20 minutes left, a little bit under 20 minutes here. I do think a small cut won't be overly bad. I don't know. I don't think. I think it looks like this. If payroll numbers are high, that signals less of a need to cut rates, right? Like, I get it. People who are really, like, politically biased are going to act like it's the worst it could ever be right now, because that happens every election year, right? And people that don't pay attention to the election years might not be used to that. They might get pulled in all these different ways or whatever it is. But in the end, right now, if payroll numbers are higher than expected, it signals less of a need to cut rates. You typically should cut rates if something's breaking. But with high payrolls and low unemployment, nothing's really breaking. And so it's something in which we should not cut rates unless we need to. Again, real estate agents, lenders, mortgage brokers, they're pushing for rate cuts because that props their professional business up. But we can't pander to them and cause inflation to spike, because, again, once inflation goes up, it's not coming down. And so we need to make that the priority one. Pointed you're the third worst trader of all time and you don't know the numbers. Yeah, dude, definitely top 3 worst payroll number predictor in the world right now, for sure. Definitely top 3. Greatest of all time ever, though, also. buy gold or no. I personally am not buying gold right now. I'm already in gold. Again, the problem with gold currently, in my opinion, is this. Okay, so here's gold right here. All right, so here's gold. Right, if we put up a weekly chart, gold has had a nice little bull run. The problem with gold, though, is that in its bear periods of time, it downtrends for a decade. It can downtrend for 10 plus years. And so I'm usually buying gold on pullbacks, not rips, right? Like I want a DCA into gold on pullbacks, not crazy bull runs. They should not cut rates yet. They are always late cutting rates time and time again. Yeah, they can be. But I think, like, okay, I get it. People want to buy homes, but that's not priority one. All right, it's just not. And a lot of people are living above their means anyway because prices have spiked so much. And so prices have gone up so much, chat, like genuinely a lot over the last 5 years. That's what most people are actually unhappy with is prices have gone up ridiculous amounts. We have to make sure that prices don't rise again like that. And if they do, if you think you're unhappy now because of prices, you're going to be really unhappy if they spike up another 10%. And the risk of that is cutting rates. Cutting rates makes that risk of them of prices spiking up 10% way higher, way higher. And so, yeah, I just think we should be smart about it and not worry so much about housing. Housing is already up 100% plus over the past 4 or 5 years. Like we had the crazy bull run in house prices in 2021. Again, and a lot of real estate agents, mortgage brokers, lenders made millions and millions of dollars. And that's kind of what they're hung over from now is because you had that crazy bull run and then interest rates spiked afterwards, right? And so now a lot of the guys that were making millions in those bull runs are just not making that much anymore. And so they're like, yeah, we should cut rates. We should bring interest rates down, but we shouldn't. It's okay, to be honest, if housing prices correct a little bit. Like housing prices are up a huge amount. It needs to be sustainable. If house prices don't correct, like we're all in trouble. And so you need all these things. You need high interest rates right now. There's a point to it. It's not like we're just discouraging the economy for no reason. Like we have to keep them high right now. Seeing more price reductions locally and buyer activity is slowing. Good. It needs to slow. It genuinely needs to slow. Yeah, gold just broke highs of the day up to 2376.50s right now. SPY is slightly red on the day, slightly red. Still got a 25, 30 minutes. Got about 900 people here live. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Do you think Nike can recover? Rent is high too. Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's because interest rates are high. You know, interest rates are high. They're trying to push the economy down. The Fed has been trying to do that. They raised federal funds rate a lot. They paused it at these high levels. They're trying to discourage spending, and that's what they're doing. And again, that's what people are really like. That's what, again, it's mostly like real estate lending. Like those are the people that are the most unhappy. But why are you in the forest? I don't know. I don't like the forest. Yeah, but it's not always time for everybody to buy, though. Yeah, overheating's not good for vacation. Yeah, I'm on vacation right now. Yeah. All right, gold spike it up, guys. We got 11, 12 minutes. All right, we are going to throw it in sub-only mode here, chat. So if you haven't already, hit the sub button. Help us grow the channel here. We appreciate it. All right, we're in sub-only mode. Everybody announce yourself. Show us you're subscribed. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Food shopping. Yeah, food and energy are the most volatile ones. Food prices have gone up crazy amounts too. Hey, thanks, Robert. Doctor, buyer, seal. I would go with seal personally. Touch, kissed by a rose. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Dad joke right there. You're welcome. Top 3 subs. What are your personal thoughts on non-farm payrolls? Awesome stream as always, guys. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. Good. Robert, Jan. There's a Jan. Sub with love. Thanks, Sam. DC. Thanks so much. All right, guys. Hey, we got about 11 minutes left. Let's see if we get anything good. Honestly, the people have been saying the light's a lot better. All right, chat. Non-farm payrolls, again, expected at 200,000. Unemployment expected at 4%. What are your last-minute predictions, chat? What do you guys think NFP is going to show up as? What do you guys think unemployment is? KOSS? Yeah, well, KOSS headphones is kind of a meme stock. I'm not touching it, really. But it is running, so that's cool. NVIDIA spiked up to almost 130s. Gold moving up 201 and 3.99. I can see you now, yeah. Yeah, I'm at an Airbnb right now. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm excited to get home. I'm excited to go train jujitsu, dude. It's been like weeks now. A lot of my injuries have gotten better, though. Like my arm, it's been hard for me to curl anything. Like curl anything on this arm has been like almost impossible for the last like 3 or 4 months. I've also had hip and groin pain. It's almost definitely from jujitsu, though. But this vacation's kind of helped that stuff heal a little bit. Bids are in control of Bitcoin. KSS going to say, I hope unemployment is 5%. It's not going to be that high, I think. It might be 4.1, 4.2, something like that. Again, I think payroll numbers, I'm going to go with 195,000 payroll numbers, 195K. Again, this is just a straight up guess. No idea what it's really going to show up as. Again, just a straight up guess. No idea. I'm going to go with 195,000. I'm going to go with unemployment showing up at 4.1%. 4.1%. That's my guess. Again, have no idea if that's going to be right. Just a straight up guess. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's from getting arm barred and me being stubborn. Jay, he said I pulled my attendant. Yeah. It hurts, dude. With the light elected volume today, could we get larger than normal price swings? Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I think a lot of people are still hungover right now. So I think a lot of people are still hungover currently. Gold, it will go up. Yeah, it'll go up over time. But again, the problem with gold is that it's been how many years has gold been running? Gold has been on an uptrend since 2016. For 8 years, gold has been running. Personally, I don't trust it right now. I think it's way too high. I think, again, you don't want to get stuck in something like this. All right. This is a 10-year downswing in gold. 10 years downswing. Here is, here's a 7-year downswing down there too. So like, you don't want to get stuck in like these type of things, Chad. Like you just don't. You don't want to get stuck. You don't want to get stuck in these 10-year downswings like this. You gotta just be smart. And gold, again, crazy run over the last 10 years, 8 years. So I would just be careful buying up at the highs. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Or, yeah, actually. Hey, Jack. Hey. Jackie. Hey, come here. Here, leave the blanket down. Leave the blanket down. Leave the blanket down. Leave the blanket. I don't want you tripping over my computer, so I'm telling you to do that. Payroll 210, employment 3.8. Again, give me your last minute predictions. Again, mine's 4.1, 4.2 unemployment, 195,000 payroll numbers. This is my guess. Straight up guess, though. Hey, go grab. Here, I'm going to get you this. I want you to go grab a mug and bring your mom some coffee. All right, guys, payroll numbers drop in about 5 minutes. Here, go get you a mug out of the cabinet. You see it up there? Nope. Yep. Over there. Yep. There you go. Can you reach that? No. All right, here. Hold on, guys. All right, guys. Non-farm payrolls coming out in about 5 minutes here. 2.5% unemployment. Whew, market would rip up, fly up. 2.5%. That'd be crazy good. 4.2%. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 4.1, 4.2, and 195K for unemployment payroll numbers. Again, I might be wildly wrong. Can you do that again on the 7 and 10-year downswing so I can screen cap it? Milkshake. All you gotta do is hit /GC, put in a weekly chart. That's a long-term chart, and take a picture of it yourself, better. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. NFP means non-farm payroll numbers. It's essentially economic growth through payroll numbers. Higher than expected is economic growth and more payrolls. Lower than expected is less economic growth and lower payroll numbers. And the implications of inflation, the economy, rate decisions is there. If it's 4.2%, they'll have to lower interest rates. No, it's not as easy as that. Like yes or no. Potentially, it signals more of a need to lower rates. Sure. 2.5, that would be bad. 2.5% unemployment? No, that'd be pretty good. Depends on what you want, though. But yeah. Higher NFP and lower unemployment means good. It means economic growth. Whether it's good or bad, it depends on the person. Some people think we need economic growth. Some people think we don't need economic growth. We need economic growth. Chat 3 minutes until the data comes out. Yeah, again, I don't know what you should do with gold. I get people asking me what you should do with gold a lot. Again, if you look at a weekly chart on gold, gold is one of the best long-term inflation hedging assets. The problem is that if you get stuck in a downtrend, it can downtrend for years. And so, yeah, there's risks, of course. There's always risks. Yeah, there's no definitive impact. There's no definitive impact. So like we might get higher than expected payroll numbers and the market flies up. We might get higher than expected payroll numbers and the market crashes down. We might get both. We might have it crash up originally and then crash down, or crash down originally and then crash up. We don't know. We can only speculate, wait, and see what happens. We got 2.5 minutes left, chat. The blue line is the previous closing price. It's the level at which it closed yesterday. So that's kind of the neutral level. Red spot is just a support and resistance area. All right, guys, we got 1,500 people here. We still got about 2.5 minutes left. Again, as we lead to this report, coin of value here. Well, it depends on what you think Bitcoin's going to do. Coinbase is down because of Bitcoin's weakness. Mt. Gox situation has a lot of people thinking about liquidation in Bitcoin and crypto, and that's why Bitcoin dropped to where it is. If you look at Bitcoin now, Bitcoin currently is down all the way to 54,000. So we'll put gold up right here and see how gold responds to everything. All right, guys. All right, again, non-farm payrolls. I'm showing 191,000 for non-farm payrolls. So I'm seeing different expectations, but depending on what source it is. All right. All right, non-farm payrolls expected anywhere between 200,000 and 191,000. 4% unemployment rate expected here. All right, we got about 50 seconds left. 50 seconds left. This timer is actually pretty close, but it's a little bit early. You can see it ends at 8:29 roughly. So yeah, we got 40 seconds left. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're super caught up on stream chat if you haven't already. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. We have 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. This timer, again, a little bit early here, chat. A little bit early. Yeah. We'll put another one up. We'll put gold up here. All right, guys, here we go. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. We got all 4 charts up here. See what we get. All right, guys, here we go. 5 seconds. And there's the report right now. Right now. There's the SPY. Non-farm payroll showed up at 206K. 206K, higher than expected payrolls. 206,000, higher payroll data. Unemployment showed up at 4.1%. 4.1%. And so far, the market is reacting positively. Gold is reacting negatively to this. But the SPY is flying up, breaking lifetime highs. It's up to 553s. Again, payroll numbers showed up at 206. Unemployment showed up at 4.1%. 4.1%, 206,000 for payroll numbers. 206. Crazy. Crazy reaction here. Very positive so far. Doesn't mean it's going to hold. But again, unemployment showed up at 4.1. We were correct about unemployment. We were wrong about payrolls. 206 versus 190 to 200 expected here. We'll put this up on screen so you can see it. Interesting here for sure. We'll put up unemployment rate 4.1 versus 4. So unemployment did spike up a little bit. We also had more economic growth though. And so again, more economic growth. If you haven't already, check out Apex. If you want to day trade, do not risk thousands of dollars yourself. Most day traders lose. It doesn't matter where you go, who you take, what course you follow, what mentor you follow. Almost all day traders lose money. It makes no sense to risk thousands of dollars in the beginning. Instead, try a funded account program. Apex is one of the most legit. They've paid out over $200 million to their traders. They fund thousands of traders a year. And again, a great way to learn how to day trade is through these funded account programs. What they do is they give you a demo in futures. And in the futures market, you can trade gold. You can trade the S&P 500. You can trade the NASDAQ, basically what the SPY and Q tracks. And again, there's no PDT rule in futures. Apex gives you a demo. If you pass the test with the demo, they fund you the same amount. The base one's 25K. So if you pass that, you get 25K in funding with a 90% split. You got to make $1,500 in profit to pass it without losing $1,500 first and following their rules and conditions. And again, if you do that, they fund you 25K with a 90% split. It also comes with real-time data. And overall, this is $35 to $40 a month. If you use my coupon code BT in my link, you get it for $35 to $40. So if you lose, you're out $35 to $40. It's not the end of the world. If you pass it, you get 25K in funding with a 90% split. And again, they paid out over $200 million. You can also get the 150, 250, and 300K challenges for the same exact price, which includes real-time data. And again, it's the best of both worlds. It's limited risk. If you lose, you only lose what you pay for it, which is $35 to $40 if you use my coupon code and link. But if you pass it, you get between 25K up to 300K in funding with a 90% split. It's the best of both worlds. It's limited risk, all that good stuff. We were correct about gold. If you want to check it out, here's the link. You can use coupon code BT, beginner trading BT. We'll get you the max discount. Anyways, the market has reacted positively to payroll numbers. Gold has as well. And so again, we told you guys we thought higher payroll numbers would mean gold spikes up. And I think it makes sense because higher payroll numbers means what? It means more inflation problems, less of a need to cut rates. This signals much less of a need to cut rates with payroll numbers coming in better than expected here. And so again, what does gold do? People gravitate towards gold, an inflation hedge. And that's what happens with gold. Wait, do we have a monetary policy report today? Let me see. So we had Jerome Powell. When's the next semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress? I know the last one was in March. We should get the new one soon. Market dump. Well, the market's reacting positively to economic growth, which means that maybe the market doesn't want a rate cut. I think that's what it means. I think we don't need a rate cut. I think payroll numbers been strong. Unemployment's still at 4.1. We'll see. You can trade the same strategies you always trade, but you can't trade different strategies. Like you can't go super heavy on Apex when news is released and try to just ride the pump up from news. Like you have to trade your own strategy with the same size you've been using. Remember, chat, they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased because they pay me money. Remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Understand the implications of CFTC 4.4. One hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, sim results do not represent actual trading, and also trades have not been executed. The results may have over or undercompensated for the impact, so forth and so on. Understand these rules. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I don't even claim to be a good trader. Definitely top 3 worst ever in the world. All right, guys. All right, guys. So again, the SPY did dip a little bit. Gold is actually up some. And so again, we'll see if the market likes this report or not. 10-year. I think we're gapping up. Are we? What do you guys think? All right, guys. I gotta use AI. All right, guys. So look at Tesla fall all the way down to 251. Gold is contracting a little bit, so the market's actually kind of flat from this report. So interesting here. Market is kind of flat. All right, guys. So let me see what you guys think. Video 123s today. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to day trade here. We got less than an hour before the market opens, so we're gonna get ready to day trade. All right, guys. What else we got? Also here, chat. Let's get ready. We got Trade Evade up. I need Quant Tower. Again, I gotta to request a payout on Apex. Like I've already got an account where I'm up thousands that I'm getting a payout on. but I have to change my business name to something else because I think I have my LLC up there, so I have to wait and figure that out. And thanks, Z. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Um, John, I know you don't like clothing brands, but I wanted to hear your opinion on Levi. Yeah, so Levi is a legacy brand, right? So there's a big difference between Levi and Lululemon, right? Which is what, like, people hear me like say I don't like Lululemon, and they think that that's me saying I don't like any clothing brands. I don't like Lululemon because Lululemon is a young company that's fairly new, that grew ridiculously large amounts during the pandemic when everybody was stuck at home. And so leisure wear that Lululemon sells was trendy. Okay. Over time, though, trends change, people change, generations more specifically change, right? What I mean by that is, like, if I go up to my daughter, what was cool when I was growing up was Jinkos, American Eagle, Hollister, Abercrombie, and Fitch, right? If you go into Abercrombie right now, regardless of the crazy pump the stock prices had, the stores are freaking empty. Nobody's in Abercrombie and Fitch right now. Nobody really shops at American Eagle anymore either. Hollister's basically dead, except for a small amount of people shopping online for it. And so generations change, and they don't want to wear what their parents wear, except maybe for this last generation, which actually is wearing what we wear. I mess with my daughter all the time, because you see kids nowadays wearing freaking super baggy Jinko pants like I used to wear in 4th and 5th grade. You see kids wear neon colors, which were trendy at the 90s and 2000s. You see people wear really baggy clothes, like a lot of like alternative clothes. Again, it's very similar to how we dress. But the point is, Lululemon was massively extended from the pandemic pump that it got from the leisure wear pump that all the young people were in leisure wear after the pandemic because they were stuck at home. Over time, it's such a new company, it's risky. Like, it's such a new company, it's risky. Why is it risky, in my opinion? Because trends change, fashion changes, brands change. It's one thing if it's like a legacy brand like Polo or Levi's or something like that. It's another thing if it's a relatively new fashion brand that only sprouted up really over the last 5 to 10 years. And trends change, fashion changes. Because of that, I'm not shorting it, but I'm just not buying it. I just don't think it's reliable. I think it's too vulnerable to trend changes for me to like buying it. Yeah, I mean, again, I grew up in the early 2000s, which was kind of like the preppy boom, I would call it, where, in the end, if you zoom out and you get rid of all the arguments about it, the subjective nature of clothes, right? If you take all of that out the picture, most of the time men are just wearing what attracts women, right? And vice versa. Women are wearing what they think men like. Maybe women are a little bit more independent than men. But I know for me personally, I was just wearing what I thought girls liked, right? And what girls liked in the early 2000s was preppy clothes, skateboarder shoes, and Abercrombie and Fitch, like, button-down shirts and cologne. That's what they liked. And so, again, if they liked pink bunny suits, I probably would have worn pink bunny suits at the time. That's just kind of the nature of it. Lululemon? What? 89, I was in elementary. Neon was in. Yeah. Axe body spray. Oh, the GOAT. When I was in high school in the late 90s, it was grunge clothing. Yeah, for sure. Like grunge. Like, yeah, I was into it. Offspring and Korn, and baggy, like, funnel pants, like super baggy Jinko pants with like a wallet chain and some Airwalks, and like a black band t-shirt with like the little button, the little like bead, like the little like chrome bead necklace, or a shell necklace, like that was the style when I was like 16. Tap out t-shirts. The tap out t-shirts, unfortunately, are a really bad stereotype of the MMA community. They kind of go with the just bleed guys. Like, people usually view people in tap out shirts negatively. I would say it's got a negative look, I would argue. I've never worn tap out stuff, you know. All right, had Jack bring you some. What's wrong with it? Here, bring Jack with you. All right, y'all give me some. Give me something. Give me some food. All right. Love you, buddy. Y'all have fun, okay? Yeah. All right. Love you. I'm still team let your daughter wear your clothes, John. I get it. Listen, my daughter can wear whatever she wants as long as it's not too revealing. She can wear whatever. You know, she's in charge of her own wardrobe. She's a teenager now, so she's in charge of it. I think every kid kind of goes through it. My daughter did as well. My daughter had this stage where, like, she only wore dark colors for like a year or two, the rebellious stage. Every kid goes through this. And then they realize they do it because they want to look older, right? And they think that dark and mysterious in terms of clothing looks older. When they get older, they actually realize that it's the opposite. That, like, adults generally just wear whatever they want to wear, and they're not super worried about looking old. That you can just wear whatever. But every kid goes through it. Anyways, we got 45 minutes left. I'm gonna pull up Quant Tower here. Let me see what my account's looking like right now. Okay, we're logging in. Rhythmic. Also, guys, if you want to check out Top Step, yeah, if you want to check out Top Step, I'll put this link up too. Top Step, you can get, it's a little bit different rule set. So if you want to try Top Step has a little bit different of a rule set. Basically, for the 50, they have a 50, 100K, and 150K challenge. The 50K one is $49 a month. You got to make 3K in profit without losing 2K. So it's a 2 to 3 ratio, a pretty reasonable ratio. 5 contracts max size total. So regardless of whether it's mini or regular, it's 5 contracts max. Yeah, but if you want to check them out, again, they have some rule differences and stuff like that, but they're pretty cool too. Top Step's a great company as well. So yeah, if you want to check them out, I'll put this link up. And yeah, you can check them out. Also, here's the link for that. If you want to check out Top Step. Yeah, somebody educate me on team let your daughter wear whatever. I don't understand. Okay, there we go. It did. Yeah, the data's already out. It might be right here in big letters. Let me pull up Discord. I gotta pull up Discord. How's my laptop doing here? You know, I was thinking before earnings season starts, I'm gonna have to buy myself. Look at Nvidia fall. Nvidia falling down. And she lost your sweater. Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, my daughter ain't about to wear my sweaters anymore. My daughter, listen, and I can't really judge because when I was a kid, I was losing everything. Right? I was not aware of anything. But my daughter is not allowed to wear my clothes anymore. All right, she just loses them. She loses them, bro. My daughter bought me a very nice green hoodie that I loved. I love this green hoodie. My daughter begged me to wear this green hoodie to school. Begged me, said, "Please, Daddy, can I please wear it?" And so I let her wear it. She comes home the next day, boom, gone, never to be seen again. You know, I've spent thousands of dollars in AirPods because she loses her AirPods or gets them run over. And I'm not mad at her. I love her. I take care of her. But she ain't about to wear my sweater. I'm gonna put it that way. Like she lost those privileges a long time ago. Uh, Tesla just evaporating bears right now. Yeah, Tesla just crazy run, crazy run. Again, we can see Apple too. Yeah, I want to see what happens with Nike. I want to see what happens with Nike too. Like here's Nike. I'm in Nike right now. Took a little bit off of one of my positions, but here's Nike. I think Nike's up a little bit today, right? Yeah, it's up a little bit. My Target trade's doing okay. Walmart. I don't know what I want to do with Walmart. You told her she couldn't wear your clothes because she loses them. Yeah, she does. She's not wearing my clothes anymore, unfortunately. I love her, but she's just not reliable. Again, my daughter has anxiety, right? So she gets we call it embarrassitis is what we call it. It's like our joking way to like joke around with my daughter. I call it embarrassitis. She's at the age now as a teenager where everything's embarrassing to her. Where everything's embarrassing. If she's in a group of people, if she's out in public somewhere, she's so worried about being embarrassed that it's excessive, you know. And so I think the reason she really loses clothes, like if I let her wear my hoodie and she leaves with my hoodie and doesn't come back, I think in like the lunchroom where there's a lot of kids there, she gets so nervous and anxious that she gets forgetful about things. I think that's what happens. Still, I mean, I'm not letting her wear my sweaters. But. Someone educate me on men letting their wives wear whatever they want. I mean, Carol can wear whatever she wants, but I can react however I want to. You know, like again, I believe she should be able to wear whatever she wants, but I can react however I want as well. You know, and luckily Carol is not one to wear like dress super, yeah, super revealing. Like that's just not really her style, which is good. Do you think it's fair for the government to bet on companies they regulate? No, I think they should change those laws. 100%. I think they should change those laws. And it's crazy that they haven't. Meanwhile, they're prosecuting other people for insider trading and all this stuff while they themselves are doing it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, of course I will, Allie. I still do let her wear my stuff. But I'm just kind of joking. Yeah, all kids go through that. Again, that's what I tell her is that it's normal. I remember being that way, you know. You sound like you got a good family going. Yeah, I got a good family. Wife's a good wife, daughter's a good daughter, son's a good son. You know, we got a good unit. You know. When I was a kid, I had to wear uniforms to go to school, and it is good because it teaches you discipline. I don't look. I had to wear school uniforms as well. In hindsight, I think it was good. And the reason I think it's good is because it puts less pressure on parents, right? Parents don't have to worry so much about what their kids wearing. They can just put them on a uniform and let them go. At the time, I hated it, and I think most people in uniforms hate uniforms. But you know, it's going to be better. You know, and it's also reflects better. Like if other families can't afford like super nice clothes, there's less pressure on them, and I think that's the best way to do it in hindsight. And I'm having a hard time finding a relationship. Honestly, if I was single, just use online. Like go online. Like there's a lot of ways to meet people online. Most people can't find a relationship because they simply they're too afraid of rejection. You know? But like if you're gonna meet somebody, you're gonna get rejected. You know, that's life. If you're too afraid of getting rejected, then you're never gonna meet anybody. You know? So it depends on how afraid you are of getting rejected. got a funded account here. All right, so we got our funded account here on Apex. I get rejected all the time. Yeah, I mean it's life. Again, but I think right now, just in terms of like greater numbers, internet's the place to do it. You know, if you refuse to use the internet, you're missing out on the single best source of finding a relationship that you ever could. You know, and again, I think a lot of people just, again, I can't stop hearing it. Somebody said I sounded like DJ Vlad like a week ago, and I can't unhear it now. When I hear myself talk, I can hear how I might sound like DJ Vlad a little bit. I know my voice is like slightly different. I also think it's the accent to a certain extent. I was watching the DJ Vlad Martin Shkreli video. It's pretty good. But yeah, back to the point. You got to use online to meet people now. If you're not using meeting people online, you're missing out on the single best source for meeting people. Right, for sure. Yeah, some people haven't dated so long they become awkward. Well, it's all conditioning, right? You just got to get used to it. Listen. I'm not an extrovert, like a huge extrovert either. I'm kind of introverted by nature anyway. Um, but yeah, you got to just put yourself out there and do whatever you got to do. Yeah, you don't want to meet people at work. Meeting people at work causes problems. Oh yeah, this is the hangout spot guy. I have to go through mental gymnastics. Yeah, yeah. Having a successful marriage is hard, man. It's hard. Again, you got to just be committed. You got to be committed to whomever it is, and I think when you look online, sometimes the grass seems greener on other sides, but it's usually not. And like, you got to just be happy with what you got. Confident and don't be shy, yo. Yeah, dating advice from John. Again, I was introverted and kind of shy as a kid. I'm not even acting like I was some big ladies man. I was introverted and shy. Thank you. I'm him. He said, "Bro, glad wish you had your voice." Yeah. Why are you spamming by? All right, guys, we got 830 people here. We still got 30 minutes left until data shows up. 30 minutes left. And stick around, guys. We are going to be day trading. I might buy this dip. Kind of torn here. So we're going to buy one contract here. And this is the futures market. So this is me day trading futures. Futures market day trading is very similar to stock day trading. Look. And boom, we're up. We just made like 50 bucks just now on a funded account, on an actual funded account. And so again, in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold. Patterns are very similar to blue chips. We made 50 bucks just now. This account, I'm up about 700. We also have another account where we're up thousands on. So we're just trying to keep it light, do what's right. Mixtape coming soon. I think young people say bars now, actually. Tesla up to 250, 150s. SPY sideways. A lot of chop. Nvidia started to break down, though. 127 seems like a reasonable spot, though. I hear Vlad at times, same cadence. Shoot your shot. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Girlfriends to set me up with. Pepe is it gone? The meme crypto? Probably. Risk management. 20 ounces of gold. He. This market keeps me smiling. What kind of tactics, bro? If you're not working on JP Morgan, how can you know where it goes for liquidity? What do you guys place on gold? I'm in gold long term. I'm not really trading it though, short term. Again, my thoughts on gold is this. Do you guys agree with me here? Let me end this poll. Let me end this poll. So we got thousands of votes on this poll. Is gold extended on the upside and due for a correction? Is gold price extended on the upside and due for a correction? Yes or no? I think there's an argument for it. Again, let's take a look at this one right here. Okay, so again, put a weekly chart up. Here's gold. Again, the problem with gold is this. All right. The problem with gold is this. Is that gold, again, I've said this many times, is one of the best inflation hedges. If you look back at the last 25 years, gold has 10x'd roughly. It's gone up 10 times its value in the last 25 years roughly. But when it downtrends, after these big crazy bull runs, like look at this big crazy bull run, when it downtrends, it can for a decade. So when it downtrends, it can go down for 10 plus years. And this is not the first time in history. This is pretty similar to how gold generally moves here, right? So again, we keep going back. We have small dump bits and corrections. Again, you start looking at stuff like this here, right? And this is a period of time between 96 and 2000 where for 4 years, 5 years, gold trended down, didn't move up. 6 years, if some might call it. And so gold, if you're not careful with it, can have massive bear markets. And so again, look, here's another one. Here, look how long this one was, right? So from 1987, in Black Monday, I guess is when it was. 1987, all the way to 93. So again, a 6-year downward trend for gold. And so yeah, what do you guys think? No, because it's a gold super cycle, only comes once every 10 years. Wait, how y'all fit in the same hoodie? Because my daughter's 15, and you know she likes loose hoodies. All right, SPY just went red for the first time today. And so again, higher economic growth is seen as a negative right now. The first root move sometimes is the wrong move. And so again, more economic growth and high unemployment is the worst thing. We're having I know a lot of people could call this stagflation. If you don't know what stagflation means, stagflation is a moment in time in which we have two contradictory looks at different things. So stagflation would be high inflation and high unemployment paralleling each other. And so again, high inflation potentially seen in the payroll report coming in higher than expected. Unemployment rate showing up higher than expected signals less employment and worse inflation through payrolls. But payrolls also show employment as well. So it depends on how you want to look at it. Yeah, I mean, loaded questions. I'm not actually using this. I'm just curious of people's sentiments, Sam. So like, it doesn't really matter either way for me what people vote on here, and I'm just curious to see if people think this is due for a correction. Gold mining costs will continue to get more expensive, leading to increased prices there too. Sure, I mean, but some people are also speculating that with gold, like if we get better at mining ocean for gold, then we might have we might have more gold out there. Rhodium. What's the symbol for rhodium? Van. Yeah, I don't see it. Also, guys, again, check out Apex. Apex, great way to learn how to day trade. Look, we've been down here for a while. I'm going to short this. You can see I'm day trading in a $50,000 funded account on Apex. I've already made $50 on the day, so we have a little bit of a cushion. And it's very similar to day trading stocks. We're basically day trading the QQQ price action in futures, no PDT rule. At Apex, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill with the demo account first. If you could pass the test with the demo, they fund you between 25K up to 300K with a 90% split. One of the most legit in the world. Great way to learn day trading. And if you pass it, you get a 90% split anyway. But if you fail, there we go. We're going to go ahead and cut that. So we just made another 50 bucks. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. This package only costs 35 to 40 bucks. The 50K one costs maybe 40 to 45. You can get the 150, 250, and 300K challenges for the same price here, chat, for the same price. Great way to learn how to day trade. And again, if you want to put it out, you can day trade gold, you can day trade silver, the S&P, the NASDAQ. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns, but there's no PDT rule in futures. Check them out right here. Use coupon code BT. We'll get you the max discount. Although remember, guys, they're a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. So, of course, anytime somebody pays me money, I'm going to be biased in their favor. Understand CFTC, hypothetical or simulated performance results have limitations. Understand I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades, all that good stuff. Not an investment professional. Do not copy me. I disagree, RJ. RJ said, I think trading with your own money is better. It's better to learn risk management and really understand that lesson. When it's your own money, you lose. While I agree to a certain extent, I think in the beginning, especially, it's really important to learn that losing comes quickly. And I think it's much better for somebody to risk 35, 40 bucks and lose that than it is for them to risk $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 and lose that, which happens. Most people lose their first account day trading. And so if you make somebody trade real money in their first account day trading with $3,000 or $4,000, they're probably going to lose thousands of dollars, right? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't help people learn. It really just makes people discouraged and never trade again. It's a lot better, in my opinion, to just try a funded account program. And if you lose, you're still risking something. So you're still losing some money. If you lose, it really conditions that you got to learn how to lose in trading. But you're not risking thousands of dollars like you would if you put the money up yourself. And so I think because of that, it's a beautiful thing, these funded account programs. It ultimately allows new traders to risk less, still risk something, and have the chance to get funded, learn how to trade under pressure, and all that good stuff. I think that's a powerful thing for day traders. It's something they need versus forcing them. Like the PDT rule means you can't day trade if you have less than 25K in a margin account more than 3 times a week. You can't day trade more than 3 times a week. What that does is makes new traders lose tens of thousands of dollars. No new trader is going to have any type of risk management. And so if you force them to trade a $25,000 account for their first account, they're just going to lose it. And then they're really going to be unhappy. Then you're hurting their life, right? Like it's much better to learn how to trade with some pressure, but not the full extent of thousands of dollars at risk. So again, if you want to check out Apex, the link is in the description. Just use my coupon code. If you want a coupon code, it'll always get you the max discount, which is BT, Beginner Trading BT. And we're up a little bit today. We're up. We're not up quite $100. We're up about $82 about day trades this morning. 82 bucks. We got 20 minutes, chat. 20 minutes. Bam. I got something. All right. Yeah, I don't really feel that great, man. I don't know what it is. Yeah, because they have max losses in them, Aqua. So they're not risking 25K in their paper accounts. So like, they make money on both sides, which is understandable. They're providing a service. I think it's a useful service. Again, a lot of people, if you were to buy real-time data for a sim account, you're going to pay roughly what you're paying for a funded account on or for a challenge account on Apex for the 25K one, right? So the value's there for sure. Well, yeah, that's probably because the DCA rule one whole. There's the DCA rule. If you add to a loser too much and just try to like roll it into some crazy ridiculous gain, they're gonna reject the payout. But again, like for saying about payouts, like look, let me show you guys. You can see the payouts that go through. Um, let me show you guys. If they get rid of that, where's the payout page? I know I had it the other day. What is it? What kind of sandwich? Okay. I'll take it now. Or I'll eat it later. Actually, I'll finish. The stream should. Yeah. More deer. Yeah, we've been seeing deer. But yeah, guys, look. So here's July. You can see all the payouts being processed. They process them on the 1st of the month and on the 15th in the month, right? So here's the last group of payouts that they've been paying out. So again, like people could say they're not paying out, but like, look, this is all July 1st. This is the 6th page. They might have more. Let me see. Yeah, here's July 4th. All the payouts that they're paying out here, July 4th, July 3rd. So I mean, like, look. Like, people could say they're not paying people out, but like, look, these are all payouts. You gotta have reasonable expectations from a funded account program, though. Like, if you're just trying to roll some super fat $50,000 payout for your first payout or whatever it is, like, you know, you're having unrealistic expectations for it. He said Rhythmic went down, so it created a bunch of ghost orders and that counted against them. Yeah, for sure. That's been going on. Like they fixed the issues for Rhythmic most of the time, but I would use Trade Evade. Trade Evade's easier. This is Rhythmic that you see right now, but yeah, it's pros and cons. Like I already have a payout that I'm about to request on my Rhythmic account. Yeah, you can only add once to a losing trade, so you can't keep adding to a loss. Basically, using like a martingale-esque strategy, which is not like most people aren't going to let you do that. I only invest my money when I can sit all day in front of my computer and watch my money. I'm retired. Well, it depends. Like everybody should long-term invest. If you don't, you're making one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Like long-term investing, like you can tell the people that don't, and I'm not saying this is anybody. I'm not talking about anybody here. But like, you know, there's some people that just don't understand long-term investing, right? Like long-term investing, guys, is one of the most effective, like wealth building tools you could ever have with compounding, you know? Again, I'll show you guys this. If you're not investing your money, you're making a mistake. Long term, you should be investing. All right. So say you got 100K. All right. So what's a good percentage? Let's just call it 8% a year. All right. So 8% a year. And this is with compounding, right? So 8% a year with compounding. Year 1, you're up 8 grand. Year 2, you're up 16. Year 3, 125. Year 4, 136. Year 5, 146. Year 6, 158. Year 7, 171. Year 8, 185. Year 9, 199. Year 10, 215. And so that's the type of, if you invest and compound into the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, you know, you're going to make gains similar to this most likely. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed, right? But when you zoom out, it is. When you're going to make money long term if you wait long enough. Over time, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow are going to go up, you know. Now, if you get unlucky and you get stuck in a market crash, typically the people who lose the most are people that get emotional and sell. And so the only people that should be really skeptical of long-term investing are people that need to retire imminently and they need their money now, right? Those people are different. You know, that if you get stuck in a crash, then you're going to have trouble. But as long as you got time to kill, let it sit, compound over time, and you'll make money. And if you're not doing that, again, you're making a huge mistake. Simp, men don't take risks. I'm too old to wait. Oh, look at it's raining over here. Yeah, listen. Well, that's all good and fine. It's important that people don't be dumb with their money too, right? Like taking risk is not always a good thing. Like reasonable people fear risk. It's not like you're cool if you could be risky. I think reasonable people fear risk. And I think everybody here should fear like the risks you take investing, trading, everything like that. Day trading, a large majority of people lose, right? Almost everybody loses in day trading. And it really is this market in which you got a lot of people pretending to be that day trading is easier than it really is so that they can sell you courses and services and mentorship programs. And a lot of people that get stuck in that type of thing are, instead of taking a step back and looking at it objectively and saying, hey, I got taken, right? Instead, they're going to pretend like it was the greatest investment they've ever made. Like, oh, I bought John's day. Like, I'm just going to use myself. Oh, I bought John's day trading course. It's the greatest course of all time. It helped me so much. They might have lost 20K, but they're going to pretend like it's the greatest. Because I think for a lot of people, it's hard to look at and take a step back and be like, hey, this course was nonsense, right? Confirmation bias. You want to believe that it was a justifiable expense, but most of the time it's not. And most day traders lose. And so the more risk you take, especially in the beginning, the more money you're going to lose. And so it really is something where like these funded account programs are useful, regardless of whether they're a sponsor of mine. Like they're useful because it limits people's risk. And I think that's important for people to understand because a lot of people don't fear the market like they should. Fearing the market's healthy. Your views crash like crypto. I mean, my views are dependent on the economic report. Like this happens pretty regularly where we cover economic reports, we get a big spike of viewership leading into the economic report, and then by the time the opening bell happens, the views drop a little bit, but we got 650 people here live. If I was in front of 650 real people, I'd be pooping my pants, man. And so we can try to make it seem like somehow this is not a good stream or successful stream. It's all good, I guess. But yeah, this is business as usual. This is how it normally goes. Yeah, so we got a monetary policy report at 11. I was looking to see if this was the Fed's, if this was the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress. And I don't think it is. I'm wondering when Powell's going to speak next. Yeah, just DCA, dollar cost average, into investments. Usually a right move. I'm a novice looking at most ETFs pegged at yearly highs. Yeah, I'm not buying up anything right now in terms of long-term investing. The things are way too high for me right now. Same thing with gold. Like I'm in gold, but I'm not buying up more because things are way too high right now. Now it doesn't mean anything. Maybe the market keeps running, and it certainly could, but I'm just not buying up it. Yeah, for sure, Chuck. The Apex is way better combines, faster to pass, cheaper. Top Step is better funded accounts, less rules to get by. Both are way better than using your money. Yeah, check out the links in the description if you want to use either one. Hey, thanks, Freddie. I'm here because you're the man, John. I don't care about the news. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Listen, my channel does really, really well. Like we compete with a lot of networks. Now are we going to get as many views as all the networks? No, but we compete with a lot of networks effectively for just a one-man show. I'm very proud of the channel. People that are butthurt about their own life or they might try to drag it down a little bit, but they're not going to rain on my parade here. I'm very blessed to have this channel and the community that I've built here. It's powerful. I think it's a good community, honestly, and we're honest with people, and that's my favorite part. Now we still make money from it, but see a lot of people on Reddit and Twitter saying who did what. Hey, thank you, Jason. Bitcoin will get a pump from the ETFs after the dump. Maybe the ETH ETF is interesting to look at and see what happens there. No blue chip by stretch seems strange. Play my guitar in front of other people. She bought Arm and Visa. Who? Kathy Wood? You do a great job, brother. Start my day every day with you. Hey, thanks so much. Thanks, Jimmy. The view is nice. Yeah, it's raining over here too. Yeah, it's raining over here. I think he said if you are overly good invest because you think things are high, you'll miss out as new highs are coming, something like that. Who, me? Not me. I mean, new highs will eventually come, but how long that's going to take is a different thing that you should understand. What could you invest in to get 8% a year? The S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow. You know, if you buy up a 10-year bond right now, you're going to make 5% a year. You know, you can get almost double that with index funds on average, but it's not guaranteed. Bonds are guaranteed by the U.S. government, treasury bonds. So if I buy a 10-year treasury bond right now, and let's just say you compound it into others, for instance, right? But like, so say I got 100K, right? And I buy a 10-year treasury bond, and then I buy more. So I invest it back into the treasury bond, you know, and this is guaranteed by the U.S. government, right? First year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, seventh year, eighth year, ninth year, 10th year. So you're going to make about 63 grand buying a 10-year treasury bond, and it's going to be guaranteed by the U.S. government. It'll give you about 5%. But again, it's going to perform. The yield is lower than like the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow. This channel is my lunchtime radio. Hey, thanks, Andre. I start every day with this channel. You are awesome. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, we appreciate it. We got a great little group here, to be honest. It's just a fun channel to run, man. It's a beautiful thing. I could talk about the stock market, the economy, things that I'm genuinely passionate about, and make good money and finish my day in the morning and hang out and enjoy life, have a good work-life balance, support my family with it. It really is a beautiful thing. It really goes to show, monetize your passions, because that's going to give you the perseverance to actually accomplish whatever you're trying to build, right? If you're not passionate about it and it's something that you don't care about, it's going to be hard to build. But if you're genuinely interested in it, you know it. Just like you invest in what you know, you start businesses around things you know and monetize what you're interested in. That's the best way. Is it strong enough data to cut rates? No, I don't believe so. I think the data actually signals less of a need to cut rates because economic data showed higher payroll numbers, which showed a stronger economy, less of a need to cut rates. We should cut rates if the economy is weak and in danger. Payroll data was high, and so it shows less of a need to cut rates. In my opinion, we did have 0.1% higher unemployment than previous, but that's still relatively low unemployment. Apex good for a beginner? It depends. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, but I think it's a good way for day traders to learn if you have reasonable expectations for it. I think it's a great way for new traders to learn how to day trade with less risk. But again, they're a sponsor of mine. So. You explain non-farm payrolls? I mean, they're pretty self-evident. No, they're payrolls excluding farm. You know. Yeah, it's a second family. Delaying surgeries? Don't do that, bro. I don't want to be behind that. What I try to give people is a place where they can learn about economics. You know, you get a lot of people that maybe cover memes and they cover all these different things, and I cover those things as well, right? But what I try to do is I try to teach people about economics, like actually about economics. You see a lot of people that got big at AMC and GameStop and all these different like movements, and then they try to kind of pander to you all and cover the same stuff that I'm covering, but you can tell they don't actually understand it. Like they don't really understand it. Like they're just covering it because it's the cool thing to cover. And so they don't really know. Some of them are telling you the market's going to crash after every single report. You know, because again, they're coming from day trading, right? So their bias is like, oh, the market's going to drop. The market's going to drop always, right? And so they're coming from day trading. So they're telling you the market's going to crash every economic report. But again, you can tell a lot of them don't really understand it. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. I can't eat that. Donut. I can't eat donuts. Sorry, bud. Love you too, buddy. Yeah, I can't eat that. If I eat a donut, I get one of the most cruel parts about getting older is that if I eat a donut, I get sick. It's not fun for me at all. Donuts make me sick now. What a terrible thing. Most cruel joke nature can play on me is donuts make me sick now. I love donuts too. I used to eat Mary Lee donuts growing up as a kid. Sky is falling. Yeah. Subscriber, what's up, Craig? Thanks, man. Kohl's is gonna fail as a company over time, though, for sure. Why? Because nobody needs to shop at Kohl's anymore. Same thing with Bed Bath & Beyond. Honestly, when Bed Bath & Beyond was going out of business, my wife actually brought us there a lot, right? Like, my wife loved Bed Bath & Beyond. You know, you go there, they got everything my wife likes, which is like pillows. I'm trying to think of the things my wife likes. Pillows. Carol, what else you like? Pillows, throw blankets. Bedding and sheets she would buy from Bed Bath & Beyond. The problem is that Amazon, over time, is just going to destroy this. Like, you don't need to buy this stuff physically anymore. Like, you just buy it from Amazon, have it shipped to you pretty quickly. But I think Kohl's is going to be out the door pretty soon. Same thing with, like, Macy's, I think, as well. Although Macy's might be a little bit more resilient just because it's like a mall store that people go to if they need clothes that same day. But still, I think there's risks. Did you not like us video, bro? What? I did so much shopping at Bed Bath. I was calling out costs, not Kohl's. Okay, gotcha. KOSS. Yeah. KOSS is a headphone meme stock company that got really big during AMC and GameStop squeezes. And so it's got some followers in that regard, and it might be kind of a squeeze from all that stuff. Maybe the squeeze 2.0, but also DraftKings. I think DraftKings is up a lot. I like DraftKings as a company, but I'm not telling anybody to buy it. I have no idea what it's going to do. No idea. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. I like the pullback it's gotten, but the long-term chart's a little sketch, to be honest. We'll see if it holds these gains, but the long-term chart's flat at best, and it's still down over the last 3 years. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half left until the market opens. Oh, the Not Like Us Kendrick Lamar video. No. Although my daughter was trying to talk to me about that beef. My daughter was siding with Kendrick, which she should have. I think Kendrick won, obviously. Kohl's, the ones near me are definitely destroying the department stores. You go into Macy's, Dillard's, you can get a pin drop. Yeah, unless it's the holiday season. Yes, I agree. All right, guys, 45 seconds. 45 seconds until the market opens. We'll see if we get anything good. All right, guys, here we go. Let's do this. All right, here's the opening bell. 5 seconds, chat. 5 seconds. All right, so the NASDAQ has started to pop up at the opening bell. It's testing the previous range that we did during the NFP report. NVIDIA is another one that you want to pay attention to today. NVIDIA is at 127.60s here. We're going to pay attention to gold also. We watched the Dow too. Gold has been pushing up this morning, though, since the non-farm payroll report. Again, my thesis this morning, remember, was that if payroll numbers came in high, gold would probably go up because I think with inflation potential risks, people are going to hedge with gold. And so gold is actually reacting positively, more positive than other stuff during the non-farm payroll report. And so I was correct about that thesis on gold moving up with non-farm payrolls. NVIDIA is starting to break highs. NVIDIA is now over the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. Let's see if we can actually hold up there. Again, Tesla's rising to 252s, over 252s. The NASDAQ is surging. Tesla's up a ton. T-bill. So we got a little dip. Again, we're going to let things settle first for a couple minutes before we start to day trade this. All right, guys. So we do have a spike up in the NASDAQ still. Tesla has turned. NVIDIA is testing the previous closing price. So NVIDIA is starting to rise up here, getting close to the previous close, trying to go green on the day. Tesla has turned down, though. So Tesla is actually starting to look weak. Gold is still surging higher. NVIDIA is now technically green on the day, chat. All right, guys. So look at the NVIDIA chart. NVIDIA now technically green on the day. A lot of big surge movement here. I'm going to short this. I think we're up a lot. All right, so we just cut that. So we got into a little trade here where we shorted it. We are up. I get 140 bucks. Again, gold up to 2,400. NVIDIA at 128. I don't know whether I want to buy this or not. Tesla looking weak, falling all the way down. We're buying this here. We've already got a cushion on the day. We'll add one position to this if we can. So we added a little bit more. We got two contracts here. I want to see a pop. All right, we took half off. There we go. We just made about $140. So we are up 270 right now, 270 on the day. Day trading this funded account. Again, this is a funded Apex account. Cost is screaming up. Is it really? NVIDIA is sideways. Yeah, cost is about to get halted on the upside. Look at this. I think it is halted. Oh, no. My computer sounds like a rocket ship right now, chat. Forgive me. I'm going to put two charts up for now so we can limit the data flowing through it. Yeah, halted on the upside. Tesla's still fading down a little bit. Gold's still pushing up. Thoughts on Baba? I like Baba as a company. I don't trust the long-term implications of the government there. We're borrowing this dip. We should have made a little bit of money here. I don't know. Made a little bit. We're up about 280. We were correct, man. We've been very accurate with this account. We got about a 5-to-1 win-loss ratio today. We're up about $300. Well, let's drag GameStop up to KOSS. So KOSS is now halted right at the highs. This was halted at 34. It should resume at 39 then. So we're short now. Oof. Well, I just lost most of the gains I made. I don't want to add to this. Unless we reject and come back down. We broke highs and then surged up. Come on, give it to me. Break down. We got two big up wicks here. Break down. Boom. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to cut it. It just seems too hard. So we lost a little bit there, but not that much. We're still up 200 plus. We're going to try to build some profit here. All right, so we got 1 minute or so until I know this is kind of a risky trade. We're shorting right at the top. All right, we took some profit off, locked it in. Let me get some music playing here. Yeah, bro, we got stuck getting squeezed out. We're actually flat on the day, though, so we'll see if we get some better results moving forward. Question is, how long does this run hold? I don't know. Gotta short one more time. Yeah, we're up a little bit. All right, so what about costs? Cost is up to $18 here, chat. There we go. All right, so we just made another 140 bucks or so on that short. Look at KOSS gapping up on the halt. Data's already out, guys. It's in big white letters on the bottom of my screen. Apple is flying up. I'm short. So we just made a little bit more. We're up about 220 on the day. You can see we never really got down into losses because we traded only on profit. We were up one, so we're up 220 on the day. Uh, yeah. It looks like a cup and handle breakout pattern, but I also think that it could just come right back down. So we made a little bit on that last piece. I don't know how much we're up. We might have lost total on the trade though. Yeah, we're up 170 on the day now, so we're down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go big short, I think, here. Two contracts. All right, we took half off just to protect the trade there, locked it in. Just took a little bit more off. So yeah, we're up 260 on the day now. Here's our P&L. We're kind of flat, stagnant, and sideways, but our accuracy's high. We got 2-to-1. Yeah, I kind of shorted the double top there. Yeah, what a crazy market right now, too. Gonna short this. Looks like it's a little too late. Nvidia's breaking down some. Cost is still kind of crazy. But yeah, look, I was gonna short it. There's Nvidia's fall, and then there's the Nasdaq. Again, you can kind of see how you can play blue chips and futures. Like, you don't have to day trade blue chips directly. You can day trade the price action. And Nvidia is so influential that look at Nvidia breakdown. And if you would have listened to, or if you would have called it, you could have called a short on the Nasdaq here in futures. So again, if you want to day trade futures, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short, all that good stuff in futures. No PDT rule. Great way to learn how to day trade. And again, I trade the price action of some of these big players. I trade the price action of like Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, and I think it's a great way to do it. But again, Apex is a sponsor of mine. They pay me money, so of course I'm biased because of it. If you want to check them out, here's the link. Again, understand CFTC, hypothetical or simulated performance, have limitations, all that good stuff. Understand their rules, and if you want the max discount, you can use coupon code BT. Beginner trading BT. I do trade off stream. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance, have limitations. Chat. Also, look at Nvidia's big breakdown is dragging this market down. If I would have listened to my short, I would have made a little bit more, but it's okay. We're already up a bunch. Stock literally printing wealth up thin air. Yeah, but catching it is a different thing. Like, the problem with this is, right, like some traders, problem is this, right, is that some traders, like, they make money, they lose money, they lose money, they lose money, they make money, you know, and so they're kind of flat trying to trade stuff like this, like they're break even, like they've canceled each other out, and like, so sure, you could make a bunch of money this way, but these are not predictable like edges, right? They mostly pander to like gamblers, like people who try to gamble, right? Like maybe you'll make a bunch of money or maybe you'll lose a bunch of money, but like gambling addicts, they're addicted to the butterflies in their stomach. They're like, ooh, the risk. And so they're taking way too big of risk and stuff like this. And KOSS, the company behind it, is gonna fail eventually. So just be careful. Like this, like what happens is people want to ride this big move, you know, but then they get stuck in the correction or the crash that happens almost inevitably, right? So like people, they want to ride this big move like this, but they end up losing and they get in at the top up here, up here, up here, and they just have to ride it all the way down. And then they get stuck and they lose their life savings. And then usually they cry manipulation. They're like, oh, it would have gone up, but manipulation. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes they just got in way too high and they took a bunch of dumb trades. So just be smart. Nvidia's both blue chipping me right now. Yeah, I mean Nvidia's up though, like so it's gains and losses. Nvidia will go like this and then this. And every time this happens, people say it's done, but then it'll go like this again and then this. People say it's done, this again, and then this. People say it's done, so forth, right? Like that happens a lot. I don't know what it's gonna do though. Like it might just I think it's up a lot. I'm in Nvidia right now also, but yeah. I'm holding some Tesla. I mean, I've taken profit off on this big rise, but I'm still holding a little bit. All right, guys, I'm up already on the day. I think I'm just gonna stay. I'm just gonna keep my profit and ride off. Y'all have a safe and happy weekend, guys. Hey, I love you all. Y'all be good. I appreciate the love and the kind words, man. We got so many like really good, supportive people here. You know, we get some haters, but usually, honestly, I'm pretty sure the haters are just like one or two people that are kind of mad that they're not working with the channel. But I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Again, y'all be good. Have a safe weekend. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see you guys back home next week. Later, chat. Thanks, chat.